Chapter 804. What kind of demonic beasts are those? The cultivation of these demonic beasts are all above the advanced heaven dipper realm. Some of them have even reached the divine realm. This is too terrifying. I didn't expect Mo Qingyun to have such a terrifying trump card. The people of Demon Flame Palace and Cloud Pavilion are in a bad situation. No wonder Mo Qingyun isn't afraid of Cloud Pavilion. With such a trump card, he wouldn't even be afraid of an expert with advanced divine realm. Looking at the black mass of eye demons in the air, the people from the various sects were shocked and terrified. They knew that their sects wouldn't have the slightest ability to resist the attack of these eye demons. As such, the strength of Qingyun Palace wasn't something they could compare with. What kind of demonic beasts are these? Looking at the eye demon in the air, Duanmu Yanghe also revealed a shocked expression. A feeling of understanding rose in his heart as he shook his head and said, "No wonder this little guy doesn't need the help of our burning sky hall." With these demonic beasts by his side, even if Yang Taiyan personally came today, he would still return empty-handed. It seems that I have underestimated him again. Heaven Dipper Realm and Divine Realm, eye demonic beasts? Sensing the aura emitted from the eye demons, Old Man Tian Shu's expression suddenly changed. He said in surprise, "It's rumored that this kid has reared a large number of demonic beasts. I didn't expect it to be true, but aren't these demonic beasts only at the Pill Palace realm?" At this moment, a strong sense of confusion rose in Old Man Tian Shu's heart. After a brief moment of confusion, Old Man Tian Shu shook his head and sighed. This little guy is getting more and more unpredictable. There must be a reason why he could grow to such a level in just a few years. While everyone's faces were filled with shock, Mo Sun commanded the Eye Devils to shoot eye rays at Lingtong. A technique attack. Mo Qingyun actually has such a demonic beast. Seeing the countless eyes that were attacking her, Lingtong's expression suddenly twitched and revealed a terrified expression. She was best at using eye techniques. Now that she was facing countless eye attacks, it could be said that she had met her match. Lingtong was very clear in her heart that although the attack from her eyes did not seem to have a big movement, it was actually more dangerous. The slightest carelessness could result in one's head being pierced by the eye ray, instantly killing one on the spot. At this moment, his cultivation was much higher than eye demons, but there were just too many eye demons. There were hundreds of thousands of them, which was not something he could handle. If his cultivation hadn't reached the 6th level of the God Art, he might have fled right away and didn't dare to stay here for even a moment longer. He had no choice. The pressure from the tens of thousands of eye demons was too great. Next, Lingtong was pinned down by Demon's powerful attack and could not divert her attention to attack the others. This way, it reduced the burden on Qi Lian and the rest by quite a bit. After all, the attack of a level 6 divine abilities powerhouse was still very terrifying. However, as Feng Mayun and the others were at a lower level, they were at a disadvantage even without Lingtong's intervention. Fortunately, with the help of the Heaven Star Realm Eye Demon, Ghost Scar and the others were greatly affected and relieved a lot of pressure. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to last more than 10 rounds against Ghost Scar and the rest. Next, with the help of the Eye Demons, Feng Mayun and the rest were in a stalemate with Ghost Scar and the rest. Of course, the stalemate was short-lived. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that as time passed, it was only a matter of time before Qi Lian and the rest were defeated. Seeing that Qi Lian and the rest were being suppressed by him, Ghost Scar revealed a cold smile. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said proudly, "I admit that we have underestimated the power of Qingyun Palace. However, with the difference of 1 level, how are you going to fight with us?" "Ghost Scar, it's too early for you to be proud." Hearing Ghost Scar's proud words, Mo Qingyun's lips curled up and a mocking expression appeared on his face. "Light Gate Martial Soul, appear." With that, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and immediately summoned the Light Gate Martial Soul. Then, an ancient broken stone door appeared above Mo Qingyun and gave off a dazzling light. Sealed door. After summoning the Light Gate Martial Soul, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and immediately used the sealed door martial soul super ability. Once the sealed door was used by Mo Qingyun, a mini version of the light gate formed on Mo Qingyun's palm. Once the mini version of the light gate was formed, Mo Qingyun blasted it out and attacked a level 5 divine power expert from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Puff! After being hit by the sealed door, the level 5 divine power expert from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, and his aura weakened. How? How could this be? Sensing that his cultivation had dropped, the man's expression changed drastically and a look of horror appeared on his face. This scene was simply too abnormal for him. Now that he was in the middle of a life-and-death battle, his cultivation had dropped by 1 level. This wasn't a good thing for him. As everyone was in the middle of a fierce battle, no one noticed the situation. At this moment, after Mo Qingyun used the sealed door to seal the cultivation of one of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion's people, his hands didn't stop moving and continued to use the sealed door on the others. After a while, everyone from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion and the Demonic Flame Palace, except for Ling Tong and Ghost Scar, were hit by the sealed door. Then, they who had the upper hand fell into a situation where they were beaten up in the blink of an eye. They were struggling desperately under the attacks of Feng Maiyun and the others. After seeing this scene, the expressions of the people from the various sects changed drastically. Their faces were filled with disbelief. The Qingyun Palace had turned the tables. What shocked them even more was that the person who caused the situation was Mo Qingyun, who was only in the Heaven Star Border Realm. A Heaven Star Border Realm cultivator was able to change the situation of a Transcendent Realm expert. This kind of thing was too unbelievable. Then, the way everyone looked at Mo Qingyun changed drastically. At this moment, they suddenly realized that they had underestimated the young man in front of them. Of course, what shocked them the most was that Mo Qingyun actually knew how to seal other people's cultivation. This was simply too heaven-defying. This Mo Qingyun is so scary. He actually knows how to seal other people's cultivation. Doesn't this mean that Mo Qingyun can fight people who are of a higher level at will? How can there be such an unbelievable method in this world? If this is the case, Ling Tong and the others are in an even worse situation. Yeah, without the advantage of cultivation, the consequences for them will be worrying. Seeing this scene, everyone couldn't help but sigh and worry for Ling Tong and the others. At this moment, everyone was sighing and worrying for Ling Tong and the others. Chapter 805. Brat, you don't have to be too proud. Even if our cultivation has been sealed, the Qingyun Palace will still be destroyed today. Ghost Scar's expression was uncertain when he heard Mo Qingyun's words as he said those cold words. However, from his tone, it was obvious that he lacked confidence and lacked the confidence he had before. It seemed that Ghost Scar's true mood was not as relaxed as he made it out to be. Is that so? Mo Qingyun smiled playfully when he heard Ghost Scar's words and did not argue with him. Hidden Door. Following that, Mo Qingyun used his martial soul's ability, Hidden Door, to conceal his figure. Under the effect of Hidden Door, Mo Qingyun's figure disappeared from a spot and disappeared from everyone's sight. Seeing Mo Qingyun's figure disappear, everyone's expression was immediately shocked and revealed an intense shock. Mo Qingyun had vanished. Moreover, even the fluctuations of his aura had vanished. At this moment, Mo Qingyun seemed to have evaporated and did not leave behind any traces. Mo Qingyun has disappeared. He actually grasped such a technique. This Mo Qingyun is too terrifying. If he is allowed to grow, he will definitely be invincible in the future. Yeah, let me ask those with the same cultivation, who can block his sneak attack. At this moment, everyone's face was filled with shock, and awe for Mo Qingyun rose in their hearts. It had to be said that Mo Qingyun's method of concealment had once again broken his understanding. Concealment and sealing other people's cultivation. This brat's methods are too terrifying. Seeing Mo Qingyun's methods, Duanmu Yang's expression was immediately shocked, and his eyes were also filled with shock as he said, "If this brat doesn't fall midway, his future achievements will definitely be limitless. It seems that my Burning Sky Hall has placed a right bet this time. Looks like the rumors are true. This kid really does have a lot of heaven-defying techniques. Old man Tion Shu smiled faintly when he saw Mo Qingyun use the sealed gate. His eyes were filled with admiration as he said, "Such monstrous talent. Even Gu Qi, who was once extremely talented, probably cannot be compared to him." Everyone was shocked by Mo Qingyun's methods. Mo Qingyun, who was hiding in midair, had already taken out several talismans and set up an array around Ling Tong and the others. However, because Mo Qingyun's actions were extremely subtle, no one sensed his actions. Time passed bit by bit as Mo Qingyun set up the array formation. As time passed, some of the weaker elders of the demonic flame palace were killed by Feng Maiyun and the others. This scene caused the hearts of Yin Tai and the others to sink significantly. As some of the elders of the demonic flame palace were killed, the situation of Yin Tai and the others became more and more worrisome. However, to everyone's surprise, Mo Qingyun did not appear again after he had hidden himself. During this period, Mo Qingyun seemed to have evaporated from the world and completely disappeared. Seeing that Mo Qingyun did not appear for a long time, Ghost Scar and the others, who were worried that Mo Qingyun was up to something, gradually relaxed. They had no choice. After seeing Mo Qingyun use heaven-defying techniques one after another, Mo Qingyun had already cast a shadow in their hearts. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had not made any move after he had hidden himself, Ghost Scar sneered and said, "Ling Mao, Ling Rao, if I'm not wrong, Mo Qingyun might have already escaped by himself. You should stop resisting and immediately submit to the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion." "Ghost Scar, you don't have to be so happy. The young lord will never abandon us and run away." Hearing Ghost Scar's words, Ling Mao and the others showed disdain as they spoke in a firm tone. In their hearts, they firmly believed that Mo Qingyun would never slip away by himself and leave them behind. "Ling Mao, Ling Rao, I advise you not to be stupid. If that kid is really here, why hasn't he come out?" Ghost Scar smiled disdainfully at the rebuttal of Ling Mao and the others. He replied, "You are all transcendent stage experts. If you submit to my Heavenly Cloud Pavilion, I can ask my master to bestow upon you the status of Heavenly Cloud Pavilion's guardian elders." At this moment, Ghost Scar had a smug look on his face as he tried his best to persuade Ling Mao and the others. "Ghost Scar, do you really want me to come out?" However, before Ghost Scar could finish speaking, a mocking and disdainful voice rang in his ears. "Young lord." Seeing Mo Qingyun's figure appear, Ling Mao and the others immediately became excited. Their fighting spirit was greatly boosted. Although they firmly believed that Mo Qingyun wouldn't run away, it was impossible to say that they weren't affected by Ghost Scar's words at all. Seeing Mo Qingyun appear in front of him, Ghost Scar's expression immediately tensed up. A strong sense of uneasiness rose in his heart. At this moment, he wanted to slap himself a few times. Why did he have to help Mo Qingyun for no reason? Now that Mo Qingyun had really come out, what should he do now? At this moment, Ghost Scar and the others felt a strong sense of depression rise in their hearts. Although Mo Qingyun was only in the Heaven Star Border realm, the feeling he gave them was even more terrifying than Qi Lian and the others who were in the Transcendent realm. At this moment, they were very worried that Mo Qingyun would show them something even more terrifying than sealing their cultivation. "Brat, I thought you would continue to hide." Although Ghost Scar was panicking in his heart, he still pretended to be calm on the surface. He mocked Mo Qingyun. "You should feel lucky that I only revealed myself now, allowing you to live a little longer." Hearing Ghost Scar's mocking words, Mo Qingyun's face became even more mocking. He said, "Now that I've revealed myself, it means that I'm going to send you to see Yang Renqing and the others." "With just you?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ling Tong showed some disdain. She said coldly, "Brat, if it weren't for these demonic beasts restraining me, all of you from the Qingyun Palace would be dead by now. Whether I can do it or not, you will know soon." Mo Qingyun didn't refute Ling Tong's words. He replied coldly, and his hands started to form seals. As Mo Qingyun's hands formed a series of strange rune seals, they quickly formed in his hands. Great Yin Yang deity vanquishing swords array rise. Seeing the hand seals formed, Mo Qingyun blasted them into the air, activating the array that was hidden in the air. Then, a bright light appeared in the air. A huge array appeared, emitting a shocking aura. At the same time, the talisman that was hidden in the air as the array foundation was revealed. Chapter 806. It turned out that Mo Qingyun had concealed himself not because he wanted to escape, but because he was silently setting up a formation. After this discovery, everyone was shocked. Once again, they were shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. They really did not expect Mo Qingyun to know about formations. Furthermore, judging from the current situation, Mo Qingyun's attainment in formations seemed to have reached an extremely high standard. This was really beyond their expectations. This is a middle level 7 formation, the great Yin Yang, God-destroying formation. At this moment, a sect leader who was well-versed in formations was shocked when he saw the formation that Mo Qingyun had set up. A middle level 7 formation was a terrifying formation that would kill anyone who entered it unless their cultivation was above the advanced level of God power. A middle level 7 formation. This is a formation that can kill an intermediate level God power powerhouse. Master Wang, are you sure you're not mistaken? Yes, that Mo Qingyun is only about 20 years old. How could he have such high attainment in formations? Master Wang, take a closer look. Did you miss something? All of a sudden, the sect leaders of the various sects were all shocked by what they had just witnessed. A 20-year-old level 7 formation master was simply too shocking. One had to know that the cultivation of formations was different from the cultivation of martial arts. It was not enough just to have shocking talent. If he wanted to improve his attainments in array formations, he would need to accumulate knowledge day and night. Although I'm a beginner level 7 formation master, I still have the ability to distinguish a middle level 7 formation. Master Wang's tone was slightly displeased with the questioning words of the crowd. He opened his mouth to reply to the crowd. Hiss! Hearing Master Wang's words, the crowd no longer had any doubts. They could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. Mo Qingyun's attainments in the field of array formations had actually reached the mid-tier of the 7th level. This was truly a little frightening. How old was Mo Qingyun? At most, he was only in his 20s. At such a young age, he was already a middle level 7 formation master. This meant that he had hopes of becoming a level 8 formation master. An 8th grade array master was an existence comparable to a supreme realm expert. With this thought in mind, the way they looked at Mo Qingyun changed drastically once again. At this moment, regardless of Mo Qingyun's personal strength or what kind of power he had behind him, Mo Qingyun's strength was undeniable. Now, just based on his attainments in array formations, he was not someone the average person could provoke. A mid-tier level 7 array formation master was very terrifying. Let me ask you, if a formation master were to set up a destructive formation in front of your house, what would the consequences be? There were only 2 outcomes. One was to invite an even more powerful array master to break the array, and the other was to migrate to avoid the array. After all, no matter how powerful a force was, it was impossible to guarantee that everyone in the force had reached the high level of supernatural powers. For example, the strongest sect in the Gene State, the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion, didn't even have a high-level Abhijna cultivator. From this, it could be seen how terrifying the lethality of a mid-tier level 7 array master was. Senior He Xian, Qi Lian, Feng Mayun, all of you can retreat. Leave the rest to me. At this moment, when everyone was shocked by Mo Qingyun's attainments in array formations, Mo Qingyun revealed a cold expression and instructed Qi Lian and the rest. Then, Mo Qingyun controlled the great Yin Yang deity, vanquishing sword formation to attack Ling Tong and the rest. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian and the rest did not hesitate and retreated from the battle circle. After a while, With the help of Mo Qing Yun, Qi Yin, and the rest retreated from the great yin-yang deity, vanquishing sword formation. Seeing that Qi Yin and the rest had retreated outside the array, Mo Qing Yun had no more worries and immediately attacked Ling Tong and the rest fiercely. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Then, rays of sword radiance formed in the great yin-yang deity, vanquishing sword formation, and attacked Ling Tong and the rest with extreme speed. Once the sword radiance appeared, it exploded with a shocking aura that was enough to make a mid-tier Abhijna cultivator change his expression. Everyone be careful. The sword radiance's attack is very strong. Seeing the sword radiance that was attacking at extreme speed, Ling Tong's expression turned cold, and she reminded everyone. Then, she said, Hallmaster Yin Tai, all of you go all out to block the sword radiance and protect us. Junior brother Go-Scar, let's work together to break the array. All right. Hearing Ling Tong's instructions, Yin Tai and the rest did not hesitate and immediately divided the work. Bang, bang, bang. Under the attacks of Ling Tong and the rest, loud sounds were heard from the great yin-yang deity, vanquishing sword formation. Then, under the attacks of Ling Tong and the rest, the great yin-yang deity, vanquishing sword formation, started to shake rapidly. Looking at the state of the great yin-yang deity, vanquishing sword formation, it seemed to be unable to bear the burden and was about to be defeated by Ling Tong and the rest. When Ling Tong and the others saw this scene, their faces were filled with excitement. They sneered at Mo Qing Yun and said proudly, Brat, wait till we break the array. Then, you all can prepare to die. Break the array. Hearing Ling Tong's words, Mo Qing Yun shook his head and smiled disapprovingly. You won't have the chance to do so. Sealed Gate. After Mo Qing Yun finished his words, he summoned the Light Gate Martial Soul again and displayed the Martial Soul superpower, Sealed Gate. Then, a mini version of the Light Gate was formed and blasted towards Ling Tong at an extremely fast speed. Senior Ling Tong, be careful. Seeing the Light Gate Martial Soul that was attacking at an extremely fast speed, Ren Xian and the rest immediately panicked and reminded Ling Tong. After witnessing how powerful the Sealed Gate was, a shadow of fear had already formed in their hearts. However, the speed of the Sealed Gate was too fast. Before Ren Xian and the rest could finish their words, it blasted onto Ling Tong forcefully. Puff! After being hit by the Sealed Gate, Ling Tong was shocked, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Then, the aura that was exuding from Ling Tong's body weakened rapidly. In a short while, Ling Tong's cultivation level dropped from the early stage of level 6 to the early stage of level 5. As Ling Tong's cultivation level dropped, their attacks on the great yin-yang deity, vanquishing sword formation, weakened rapidly. The great yin-yang deity, vanquishing sword formation, which was shaking under their attacks, gradually regained its calmness. Senior Ling Tong, what should we do now? Seeing such a scene, Go-Scar and the others revealed a panicked expression and asked Ling Tong if they could not break the great yin-yang deity, vanquishing sword formation, it was very likely that he would be slowly tortured to death in the array. Next, it's your turn. At that moment, when Go-Scar and the rest were panicking, Mo Qing Yun sneered and displayed the Sealed Gate on Go-Scar. Then, a mini version of the Light Gate flashed and blasted onto Go-Scar. In a short while, Go-Scar's cultivation level dropped from the peak of level 5 to the later stage of level 4. After witnessing this scene, Ling Tong and the rest could not help but reveal a trace of despair in their expressions. Chapter 807. Poof, poof, poof. Just as Ling Tong and the rest were in despair, a sharp sword radiance pierced through the body of an elder from Demon Flame Palace. Poof! After being hit by the sharp sword radiance, the eyes of the elder from Demon Flame Palace immediately became dull and lifeless. It seemed that he would not live for long. Elder Zhou, seeing the elder lying on the ground with serious injuries, Yin Tai and the rest hurried over and shouted at him. Hall Master, we were wrong. Qing Yun Palace is not something that we can provoke. Looking at Yin Tai, Elder Zhou's face was filled with pain as he spoke regretfully. If he had known earlier, he would have tried his best to persuade Yantai not to take revenge for Aquamarine Palace. But now it seemed that everything was too late. Hearing Elder Zhou's words, Yantai and the rest's expressions changed as regret rose in their hearts. They were indeed wrong. For the sake of an insignificant Aquamarine Palace, they had listened to Cloud Cabinet's words and came to deal with Qing Yun Palace. This was a ridiculous mistake. Hall Master, if you beg for mercy from Qing Yun Palace now, it might not be too late. Looking at the regretful faces of Yin Tai and the rest, Elder Zhou's voice was trembling as he tried to persuade Yin Tai. When he heard Elder Zhou's persuasion, Yin Tai's intention to surrender immediately intensified. Hall Master Yin, we have no way out now. Please think twice before you act. Hearing the conversation between Yin Tai and the rest, Ling Tong's face was solemn as she tried to persuade Yin Tai. He knew very well that they no longer had the advantage in terms of cultivation. If Yin Tai and the others were to submit to them, they would be in deep trouble. Hall Master Ling Tong, this is Elder Zhou's last wish. We can only apologize. In response to Ling Tong's persuasion, Yin Tai pretended to be ashamed and apologized. At this point, Yin Tai could tell that if they did not beg for mercy, they would definitely die. Just now, the so-called abiding by Elder Zhou's last wish was just an excuse for him to surrender. Mo Qing Yun, my Devil Flame Palace is willing to submit to you. We only ask that you let us live. After replying to Ling Tong, Yin Tai no longer hesitated and immediately asked Mo Qing Yun for help. As soon as Yin Tai's words came out, the expressions of the people from the various sects immediately changed, revealing a look of shock. The demonic Flame Palace, one of the 9 major powers of the Jin province, had actually submitted to the Qing Yun Palace. This was simply too shocking. Didn't this mean that from this moment onwards, the Qing Yun Palace had become a powerful force that surpassed the 3 mysterious palaces? However, to everyone's disbelief, Mo Qing Yun directly rejected Yin Tai's request. Mo Qing Yun said coldly, with the strength of your Devil Flame Palace, you are not qualified to be a subordinate force of my Qing Yun Palace. Therefore, you should obediently accept your deaths. Great Yin Yang God, vanquishing sword formation, kill. As soon as Mo Qing Yun finished speaking, he did not waste any more words with Yin Tai and the rest. Instead, he strengthened the attack of the great Yin Yang deity, vanquishing sword formation. Immediately after, under the attack of the great Yin Yang deity, vanquishing sword formation, Yin Tai and the rest were injured and killed one after another. Of course, Ling Tong and the rest were not in a good situation either. Some of them were also killed by the great Yin Yang deity, vanquishing sword formation. Mo Qing Yun, we have offended you this time. As long as you let us go now, we will write off everything that happened previously. How about that? Seeing the situation that they were in, Ling Tong's face was filled with unwillingness. She tried to negotiate with Mo Qing Yun. Begging for mercy when you can't win? How can there be such an easy thing in this world? Mo Qing Yun's face was filled with disdain towards Ling Tong's plea for peace. He replied coldly and said, moreover, even if we don't write off everything, what can we do? At most, our Qing Yun Palace will fight with the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Mo Qing Yun, you are pushing the Qing Yun Palace into a state of no return. Hearing Mo Qing Yun's reply, Ling Tong's face was filled with a ferocious expression as she spoke angrily. However, Mo Qing Yun chose to ignore her words and did not speak any more nonsense with her. Then, Mo Qing Yun controlled the great Yin Yang deity vanquishing sword formation and attacked Ling Tong and the rest who were in the formation. After a few hours, Mo Qing Yun stopped what he was doing. At that moment, there were no survivors in the great Yin Yang deity vanquishing sword formation. Ling Tong and the rest who were in the formation were all killed in the great Yin Yang deity vanquishing sword formation under Mo Qing Yun's decisive attack. Looking at the scene before them, the people from the other sects were stunned on the spot. They could not believe that this was real for a long time. Dead. All of them were dead. The people from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion and the people from the Demonic Flame Palace were all killed by Mo Qingyun in the Great Yin Yang deity, vanquishing sword formation. After this discovery, the way everyone looked at Mo Qingyun changed drastically. At that moment, they realized that this seemingly kind young man actually had a ruthless heart. They realized that they had once again underestimated Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun did not care about the reactions of the people from the other sections. After he killed Ling Tong and the rest, he removed the great Yin Yang deity, vanquishing sword formation. Qi Lian, go and collect the corpses of Ling Tong and the rest. After removing the great Yin Yang deity, vanquishing sword formation, Mo Qingyun instructed Qi Lian before he kept all of I demons in the Heixian Palace. Yes, young lord. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had asked him to collect the corpses of Ling Tong and the rest, Qi Lian immediately looked excited and went to collect the corpses of Ling Tong and the rest. Ling Tong and the rest were at level 5 and level 6 of divine power. If he could refine the power of blood force of Ling Tong and the rest, his cultivation could break through to level 6 of divine power. After a short while, Qi Lian collected the corpses of Ling Tong and the rest and returned to Mo Qingyun's side. Let's go back to the palace. Seeing that everything was settled, Mo Qingyun did not want to stay any longer and flew back to the Qingyun Palace. Congratulations to Palace Master Qingyun for eliminating the invaders. Palace Master Qingyun is young and promising. Your future is limitless. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had returned to the Qingyun Palace, the sect leaders and elders of the various sects were in awe of him and said flattering words. Hee, sect leaders, you are too courteous. Let's enter the palace first. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied to the people of the various sections. With that, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and walked into the Qingyun Palace. Seeing that, the crowd quickly followed behind Mo Qingyun and walked towards the conference hall of the Qingyun Palace. At that moment, the crowd understood that the handsome young man in front of them had become an important figure in Jin State. After leading the crowd into the conference hall, Mo Qingyun instructed Ling Kai to start the palace building ceremony immediately. Everyone, since the invaders have been killed, the palace building ceremony will now officially begin. After receiving Mo Qingyun's instructions, Ling Kai did not hesitate and immediately announced to the crowd. Due to the incident of Ling Tong and the rest being killed, the people of the various sects were in awe of the Qingyun Palace. Chapter 808. A few hours later, the palace building ceremony ended. After the palace building ceremony ended, the people from various sects who came to congratulate left Qingyun Palace one after another. However, after the people from various sects left, the people from Heavenly Book Pavilion and Burning Sky Palace stayed behind and stayed for a few more days in Qingyun Palace before leaving. During the days when Old Man of Heavenly Book stayed behind, other than asking about the situation of Qingyun Palace, they also gave Mo Qingyun some warnings and reminders. They reminded Mo Qingyun to be careful of Yang Taiyan, as Yang Taiyan might break through to the 7th level of the divine power recently. If Yang Taiyan's cultivation base broke through to the 7th level of the divine power, he would undoubtedly be very difficult to deal with. A few days later, Mo Qingyun sent Old Man of Heavenly Book and the others away. He did not delay any longer and immediately entered the 5-direction palace to prepare for cultivation. Now that my cultivation base has broken through to the heaven realm, I should be able to enter the 2nd floor of the 5-direction palace. After entering the 5-direction palace, Missouri Qingyun looked expectantly at the passageway leading to the 2nd floor of the 5-direction palace. After looking at the passageway leading to the 2nd floor of the 5-direction palace, Missouri Qingyun lifted his foot and walked forward, preparing to enter the 2nd floor of the 5-direction palace. Sure enough, this time, as Mo Qingyun expected, he easily passed through the passageway leading to the 2nd floor. Then, Mo Qingyun came to the 2nd floor of the 5-direction palace and checked the surrounding environment. After a round of inspection, Mo Qingyun found that the space of the second floor of the five-direction palace was much smaller than the first floor. In addition, the power of the five elements contained in the second floor was no longer the power of ultimacy and power, but had evolved into the power of origin. Just as I guessed, the second floor of the five-direction palace contains the power of origin. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun was ecstatic and thought to himself, with the help of the five-direction palace, the time needed to raise the power of the five elements' origin to the perfect level will be greatly reduced. Devouring Gate. After thinking about it this way, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately began to refine the surrounding five-element source energy. Mo Qingyun entered the five-directional palaces to refine the origin energy of the five-directional palaces and raise his cultivation base. Qi Lian and the others did not hesitate. They all entered He Xian's hall to cultivate and improve their cultivation bases. As a result, there was a frenzy of cultivation in the Azure Cloud Palace at this moment. Everyone was racing against time, seizing every minute and second to improve their current cultivation. At this moment, everyone in Qingyun Palace was racing against time to improve their cultivation. The news of Qingyun killing Ling Tong and the others spread like wildfire among the various sects in Jin region, setting off a strong storm. Everyone was shocked when they heard the news. They couldn't believe that it was true. The Qingyun Palace, a newly established sect, actually dared to make enemies with two super factions. Such an action was no different from courting death. However, the actions of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion and the Demon Flame Palace were beyond everyone's expectations. The Heavenly Cloud Pavilion and the Demon Flame Palace kept silent about the actions of the Qingyun Palace. They did not plan to take revenge. This scene was too abnormal for everyone. It was not in line with their usual style of doing things. Then, a thought arose in the hearts of the people from the various sections. The Heavenly Cloud Pavilion and the Demon Flame Palace gave in and acknowledged the status of the Qingyun Palace. At this moment, in the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion, I didn't expect the Qingyun Palace to be so powerful. Even senior brother Ling Tong and the others were killed. Hua Jiao's face was ferocious as he uttered a shocking sentence. With an unwilling expression, he said, "Junior brother Chu Yang, why don't we report to Master and tell him about the death of senior brother Ling Tong and the others and ask him to come out of seclusion and destroy the Qingyun Palace?" "Senior brother Hua Jiao, you can't do that." Chu Yang immediately stopped him when he saw Hua Jiao's actions. With a solemn expression, he said, "Master is now at the critical stage of breaking through to the seventh level of the divine power and cannot be disturbed. We must not disturb him at this moment. Are we just going to wait like this?" Hua Jiao was very clear about the meaning of Chu Yang's words, but his heart was still filled with an intense unwillingness. "Senior brother Hua Jiao, calm down first. There's a saying that goes, it's never too late for a gentleman to take revenge for ordinary people. Why should we be in a hurry to take revenge?" Looking at the furious Hua Jiao, Chu Yang spread his hands to appease him and said, "Moreover, the Qingyun Palace is extremely powerful. When Master's cultivation breaks through to the seventh level of the divine power, we will have a better chance of taking revenge." Sigh. Hearing Chu Yang's words, Hua Jiao sighed unwillingly and did not say anything else. He also knew that Yang Taiyun's cultivation had not broken through to the seventh level of the divine power and rashly went to the Qingyun Palace for revenge. It would be too reckless. Subsequently, Hua Jiao and Chu Yang waited for Yang Taiyun to come out of his closed-door training. As for the Demonic Flame Palace, even their strongest Yin Tai had been killed. How would the others dare to take revenge on the Qingyun Palace? At this moment, they were all silently hoping that the Qingyun Palace would not vent their anger on the others from the Demonic Flame Palace because of Yin Tai's actions. Since the Qingyun Palace, the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion, and the Demonic Flame Palace all remained calm, the situation in the Jin province calmed down again. However, everyone knew very well that this calm was only the precursor to the coming storm. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. The power of the origin of fire has reached perfection. Mo Qingyun, who was cultivating on the second floor of the Five Directions small pagoda, opened his eyes with joy and withdrew from his cultivation. After cultivating for half a month, the bloodline power of Ling Tong and the others should have been completely refined by Qi Lian. After withdrawing from his cultivation, Mo Qingyun revealed a pondering look and immediately had a plan in mind. Since Qi Lian has refined the corpses of Ling Tong and the others, it's time for me to thoroughly explore the demonic flame palace. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and left the Five Directions small pagoda. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived at the inner peak of the icy peak and stopped in front of the Hexian Palace. Qi Lian and the others had just finished cultivating and walked out of the Hexian Palace. "Greetings, young lord." Upon seeing Mo Qingyun not far away, Qi Lian and the others revealed respectful expressions and hurriedly walked toward Mo Qingyun, peak of the middle stage of the 6th level of the divine power realm. When Qi Lian and the others approached, Mo Qingyun sensed the aura on Qi Lian's body and a surprised smile appeared on his face. He did not expect Qi Lian's cultivation to break through to the peak of the middle stage of the 6th level of the divine power realm after refining the corpses of Ling Tong and the others. This result surprised him a little. Chapter 809. After sensing Qi Lian's cultivation, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sense the cultivation of Feng Maoyun and the others. After sensing for a while, Mo Qingyun smiled brightly. He was pleasantly surprised by the improvement of Feng Maoyun and the others. He didn't expect that in this seclusion, other than Qi Lian's cultivation, Feng Maoyun and the others' cultivation had also broken through. Feng Maoyun, Ling Bo, and Ling Rao's cultivation had all broken through to level 5 of the divine power realm. Savage Beast cultivation had also broken through to level 4 of the divine power realm. As for Zunzinzi and Ling Kai, their cultivation had also broken through to level 2 of the divine power realm and level 3 of the divine power realm respectively. In addition, the number of demons who had broken through to the divine power realm had also reached close to 100. With this, the foundation of Qingyun Palace had truly been raised. They had successfully stabilized their position as the top force. Not bad, not bad. In this cultivation, everyone's cultivation has increased significantly. After knowing the cultivation of Qi Lian and the others, Mo Qingyun smiled with satisfaction and nodded to everyone. This is all thanks to the pills given by the young lord. Otherwise, our cultivation wouldn't have increased so quickly. Hearing Mo Qingyun's praise, Feng Maoyun and the others were grateful and said humble words to Mo Qingyun. At this moment, as everyone was talking, a powerful aura came out of the Black Palace. Another person's cultivation had broken through again. From this powerful aura, it was very likely that this person was about to break through to the 6th level of the God Arts realm. In this way, wouldn't Qingyun Palace have 2 level 6 of the Divine Power Realm experts? 2 level 6 of the Divine Power Realm experts. Even the 3 heavenly courts couldn't compare to them. Senior Hexian's cultivation has also broken through. Sensing the aura emanating from Hexian Palace, Missouri Qingyun was pleasantly surprised. He quickly walked towards Hexian Palace. At this moment, as Mo Qingyun walked towards the Hexian Palace, a muscular black figure walked out of the Hexian Palace with a joyful expression. Congratulations to Senior Hexian for advancing to the 6th level of the Divine Ability Realm. Seeing this sturdy figure approaching, Mo Qingyun smiled brightly and hurriedly congratulated him. It's just a small breakthrough. In response to Mo Qingyun's congratulatory words, Hexian smiled faintly and waved his hand, saying, "From the looks of it, I am not the only one who made a breakthrough in cultivation this time. Haha, this time, Qi Lian and the others also made quite a bit of progress in cultivation." In response to Hexian's words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said joyfully. Next, Mo Qingyun and the others chatted and shared the joy in their hearts. After chatting and laughing with everyone, Mo Qingyun's expression became solemn. He said to Qi Lian and the others, "Qi Lian, since your cultivation has all broken through, it's time to get rid of the demonic flame palace. Young lord, we are willing to go to the demonic flame palace and completely wipe it out in the river of history." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Feng Maiyun and the others were filled with excitement and couldn't wait to speak. Yes. Seeing the actions of Feng Maiyun and the others, Mo Qingyun was satisfied. He nodded to everyone and said, "If that's the case, Qi Lian, you take Maiyun, Ling Mei, Ling Rao. You take Mo's son and the others to the demonic flame palace and wipe it out." "Yes, young lord." Hearing Mo Qingyun's orders, Qi Lian and the others immediately nodded and took the eye demons to the demonic flame palace. Qi Lian and the others set off for the demonic flame palace. Mo Qingyun and He Xian chatted for a while before returning to the five-directional pagoda to cultivate. A few days later, when Mo Qingyun was cultivating in seclusion, a shocking piece of news spread across the Jin Prefecture. One of the 9 superpowers of the Jin Prefecture, the demonic flame palace, had been wiped out overnight. As soon as the news spread, it swept through all the sects in the Jin Prefecture like a superstorm. What? The demonic flame palace was wiped out overnight? How is that possible? The demonic flame palace, one of the 9 superpowers of the Jin Prefecture, was wiped out overnight? Are you kidding? Do I look like I'm kidding? This news is absolutely true. All the sects in the Jin Prefecture are spreading it. Do you guys think this was done by the Qingyun Palace? After all, the demonic flame palace offended them not long ago. It's very likely to be the Qingyun Palace. Only the Qingyun Palace and the 3 heavenly pavilions can wipe out the demonic flame palace so easily. It could also be the heavenly cloud pavilion. They might be using this to frame the Qingyun Palace. As soon as the news of the demonic flame palace being wiped out spread, everyone began to guess who the culprit was. Of course, among everyone's guesses, the one with the greatest suspicion was the Qingyun Palace. However, while everyone was suspecting the Qingyun Palace, their fear of the Qingyun Palace also grew stronger. The fact that a powerful force like the demonic flame palace had been wiped out by the Qingyun Palace without anyone noticing showed how terrifying the strength of the Qingyun Palace was. This was definitely not a force they could afford to provoke. At this moment, in the heavenly cloud pavilion, an astonishing aura erupted from a secluded small courtyard, intimidating the minds of everyone in the heavenly cloud pavilion. This was the aura of a 7th-level divine power expert. Master has broken through. Chu Yang and Hua Jiao, who were guarding the heavenly cloud pavilion, were pleasantly surprised when they sensed this aura. Yang Taiyan's cultivation had broken through. This meant that Yang Taiyan's cultivation had entered the advanced level of the divine power realm. Their chances of revenge against the Dark Ice Palace had increased. Hua Jiao and Chu Yang no longer hesitated and immediately rushed to Yang Taiyan's small courtyard. Soon, the duo arrived at Yang Taiyan's small courtyard. "Congratulations, Master. Your cultivation has advanced to the advanced level of the divine power realm." Hua Jiao and Chu Yang congratulated Yang Taiyan with pleasantly surprised expressions when they arrived at Yang Taiyan's small courtyard. No need for formalities. Looking at the duo standing in front of him, Yang Taiyan waved his hand with a faint smile and asked curiously, "Hua Jiao, where are Ling Tong and the others? Are they not in the heavenly cloud pavilion?" In Yang Taiyan's opinion, since Hua Jiao and Chu Yang had rushed over in time after his cultivation had broken through, there was no reason for Ling Tong and the others not to come to his small courtyard if they were also in the heavenly cloud pavilion. Senior brother Ling Tong, they... Hua Jiao and Chu Yang's expressions immediately changed when they heard Yang Taiyan's question about Ling Tong and the others. What happened to Ling Tong and the others? Yang Taiyan hurriedly questioned Hua Jiao and Yi Qingyu with a nervous look on his face when he saw them. Although the divine power realm experts were unable to seek fortune and avoid calamity, they were still able to sense danger to a certain extent. At this moment, Yang Taiyan felt uneasy when he saw the duo's behavior. Senior brother Ling Tong, they are all dead. Hua Jiao and Chu Yang's faces were filled with grief and indignation as they uttered heartbroken words. They knelt in front of Yang Taiyan and said, "Master, you must avenge senior brother Ling Tong and the others." Chapter 810. Ling Tong and the others are dead? Yang Taiyan was shocked when he heard the duo's words. His expression was filled with disbelief. After a brief silence, Yang Taiyan revealed a ferocious expression and said with grief and indignation, "Tell me, who killed Ling Tong and the others?" It's the people from Qing Yun Palace." Hu Jiao and the other man were similarly enraged when they heard Yang Taiyan's question and answered through gritted teeth. Qing Yun Palace. Yang Taiyan's veins bulged when he found out who had killed Ling Tong and the others. His body exuded an astonishing murderous intent. This time he was truly enraged. He really didn't expect that during the time he was in seclusion, so many talented disciples had actually died. This was absolutely not something he could tolerate. Yang Taiyan's joy at the breakthrough in his cultivation was swept away in an instant. Now he only wanted to kill. Chu Yang, Hu Jiao, immediately informed the Divine Powers realm experts in the sect that I'm going to wash Qing Yun Palace with blood. Yang Taiyan revealed a furious expression and instructed the duo. Then, he revealed a ferocious expression and said, "Qing Yun Palace, I'm going to make sure that not even a blade of grass grows and that not even a chicken or dog will be spared." "Yes, master." Having received Yang Taiyan's instructions, the duo no longer hesitated and immediately went to convey Yang Taishan's decree. After a short while, several figures with astonishing auras gathered outside the heavenly cloud pavilion. These people were all Divine Powers realm experts, and a rough estimate put their number at no less than 100. Over 100 transcendent realm cultivators. Such a terrifying plastic surgery would probably make many people tremble in fear. "Come, let's go to Qing Yun Palace." Seeing that everyone had arrived, Yang Taiyan coldly instructed them and set off for Qing Yun Palace. While Yang Taiyan and the others were heading to Qing Yun Palace, Qi Lian and the others returned to Qing Yun Palace with Mo's son and the other demons. "Are they back already?" Mo Qing Yun, who was in the courtyard, was stunned when he sensed the shocking auras coming from outside Qing Yun Palace. Then, Mo Qing Yun revealed a pleasantly surprised expression, and his figure moved out of the palace to welcome Qing Yun. "Greetings, young lord." Qi Lian and the others revealed respectful expressions when they saw Mo Qing Yun walking towards them. They hurriedly bowed to Mo Qing Yun. There's no need for such formalities. Seeing the actions of Qi Lian and the others, Mo Qing Yun waved his hand indifferently at everyone. "Young lord, we were fortunate enough to not let you down and have successfully eradicated the demonic flame palace." After bowing to Mo Qing Yun, Qi Lian took out a chinquin bag and handed it to Mo Qing Yun. "Young lord, this is the treasure of the demonic flame palace." "Yes." Receiving the chinquin bag from Qi Lian, Mo Qing Yun nodded with a faint smile. He waved his hand to everyone and said, "Everyone must be tired from the journey to eradicate the demonic flame palace. You should all go and rest. Perhaps we will have a tough battle to fight soon." Was it going to be a tough battle ahead? Hearing Mo Qing Yun's words, Feng Moyun and the others were puzzled. For a moment, they did not understand the meaning of Mo Qing Yun's words. However, after a brief moment of confusion, Qi Lian and the others revealed a look of understanding. They understood the meaning of Mo Qing Yun's words. Mo Qing Yun's words should be referring to the battle between Qing Yun Palace and the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. "Young lord, what do you mean? The Heavenly Cloud Pavilion is going to take action against us?" At this moment, Qi Lian's face revealed a strong sense of anticipation. He could not wait to fight with the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion immediately. In his opinion, if he could kill the Pavilion Master of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion, Yang Taiyan, his cultivation could break through to the 7th level of the Divine Power Realm. "That's right." In response to Qi Lian's inquiry, Mo Qing Yun nodded with a faint smile and replied, "Although I can't confirm the exact time, according to my rough estimation, it should be about time for the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion to invade." Mo Qingyun would never believe that the pavilion master of the heavenly cloud pavilion, Yang Taiyan, would remain indifferent after he had killed so many disciples of the heavenly cloud pavilion. In addition, Mo Qingyun learned from Duanmu Yanghe and the others that Yang Taiyan might break through to the advanced level of the divine power realm in the near future. In this way, there is a reasonable explanation for Yang Taiyan's lack of action even after he had killed Ling Tong and the others for such a long time. Presumably, the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion's lack of action was because Yang Taiyan was trying to break through to the advanced level of the divine power realm. With this inference, Mo Qingyun had a general idea of Yang Taiyan's actions. Under normal circumstances, regardless of whether Yang Taiyan's cultivation had successfully broken through or not, his time in seclusion should have ended. In this way, when Yang Taiyan came out of seclusion and learned of the deaths of Ling Tong and the others, he would definitely lead the entire sect to wipe out the Qingyun Palace. "Young lord, what should we do now?" Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian and the others revealed nervous and expectant expressions as they asked Mo Qingyun, "You don't have to do anything. Just seize the time to improve your cultivation." Seeing the reaction of Qi Lian and the others, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said some words of comfort to them. Subsequently, Mo Qingyun gave some instructions to Qi Lian and the others before letting them go and cultivate. "Mother Empress, we will also go ahead and cultivate." As Qi Lian and the others went ahead to cultivate, Mo Sun and the others, as well as Yan Mo, did not stay any longer. After asking for instructions, they entered the He Xian Palace. Seeing that everything was done, Mo Qingyun did not stay any longer and flew back to his small courtyard. After returning to his small courtyard, Mo Qingyun took out the Qinkuan bag given by Qi Lian and counted the spoils of war obtained by the demonic flame palace. After checking, Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised and his expression became excited. This is the Sky Stone, which can be used to set up a space formation. With so many Sky Stones, it's enough to set up a small space boundary. This is the 1,000 Transformations Strange Spiritual Grass, the main ingredient for refining the Bright Moon All Appearances Pill. In this way, I can refine the Bright Moon All Appearances Pill. This is the crystallization of the annual rings of the Immortal Time Tree. With this, I can set up the 20-fold time shift formation. As Mo Qingyun continued to check, the items in the Qinkuan bag were sorted out one by one. The demonic flame palace is indeed one of the 9 great forces in Jin province. Its collection is indeed extraordinary. After checking through the collection of the demonic flame palace, Missouri Qingyun revealed a bright smile and an intense joy rose in his heart. With these items from the demonic flame palace, he could increase the strength of the Qingyun palace by several times in a short period of time. This is when Mo Qingyun finished packing all the items. A map with the demonic beast arm appeared in front of him. Immediately, Mo Qingyun picked up the map and carefully examined it. The place drawn on this map seems to be the place where the demonic arm of the heavenly soul is hidden. Chapter 811. After looking through the tattered map, Mo Qingyun carefully put away. At this moment, he was planning to search for the second heavenly soul demon arm once he was done with the heavenly cloud pavilion. After putting away the tattered map, Mo Qingyun finished counting all the spoils he had obtained from the demonic flame palace. Since I've finished counting all the spoils I've obtained from the demonic flame palace, it's time to get to work. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He had a plan in his mind. He got up and walked out of the room. After leaving his courtyard, Mo Qingyun began to examine the formations of the Qingyun Palace. He was prepared to make some changes and strengthen them. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, the previous protective formations of the Qingyun Palace were simply too weak. Several hours later, Mo Qingyun stopped in his tracks, a look of understanding appearing on his face. After several hours of examination, he had a rough understanding of the formations of the Qingyun Palace. The protective formations of the Qingyun Palace are not bad in general. They can probably block attacks from experts of the 4th level of the God tier. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He raised his hand and rubbed the space between his eyebrows. After pondering for a moment, he said, "It's just that the person who set up the formation has such low attainments in formations, causing the formation to be a little too crude. Next, I need to replace some of the discarded formation materials and set up a Sun-Moon-Star-Spirit convergence formation to replenish the yuan lean needed to maintain the formation. Only in this way can the formation be guaranteed to last forever." With a direction in mind, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He immediately began to repair and strengthen the protective formations of the Qingyun Palace. Afterwards, Mo Qingyun took out various materials from his Qingyun bag to replace the original materials of the Qingyun Palace. The time that followed passed bit by bit as Mo Qingyun repaired and strengthened the formations. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. At this moment, Mo Qingyun, who had been repairing and strengthening the formation, stopped what he was doing. As Mo Qingyun stopped what he was doing, a shocking elemental energy storm instantly rose up around the mountain gate of Qingyun Palace. As soon as this origin energy storm formed, it quickly converged towards Qingyun Palace, replenishing the origin energy needed by Qingyun Palace's sect protection array. In addition, after the Yuan power had gathered, the Yuan power intensity in Qingyun's palace had also greatly improved. As soon as this phenomenon appeared, the elders and disciples in Qingyun Palace all revealed expressions of intense shock. Judging from the current situation, if Qingyun Palace's elemental energy density continued to increase, Qingyun Palace would definitely become a cultivation treasure ground. While the people from the Qingyun Palace were still in shock, they saw Mo Qingyun in midair. Could this be done by Senior Brother Qingyun? Senior Brother Qingyun is really too powerful. Compared to Senior Brother Qingyun, the so-called 5 uniques prodigies from before are simply a joke. That's right. They want to compete with Senior Brother Qingyun with their abilities? They're simply asking for humiliation and seeking their own deaths. Qingyun, young lord, is indeed a peerless demon. Such shocking talent is probably 1 in a million. It's not just a rare occurrence in 10,000 years. It's simply unprecedented and will never be seen again. At this moment, the disciples and elders of Qingyun Palace were all in awe. While everyone was in awe, Mo Qingyun scanned the area below with a faint smile on his face, looking at the results of his work over the past few days. Phew! I've finally finished repairing and strengthening the sect protection formation of Qingyun Palace. Glancing at his masterpiece, Mo Qingyun took a deep breath and murmured to himself with a faint smile. With the current power of the sect protection formation of Qingyun Palace, even if an expert with the divine power level came, he wouldn't be able to break through it. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was celebrating his masterpiece, streaks of shocking aura radiated from the Hexian Palace. This was the sign that someone's cultivation had broken through to the divine power level. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate any longer and moved to the Hexian Palace. Next, Mo Qingyun saw the beholder demons break through to the divinity realm one after another, manifesting wondrous images of divinity. Sensing the commotion caused by demons' breakthrough, Qi Lian and the others who were cultivating in the cultivation room stopped cultivating one after another. "Young lord, you're here." Not long after, Qi Lian and the others walked out of the cultivation room and stopped beside Mo Qingyun. 1,000 demons have broken through to the divine power level, and this number is still increasing. These guys' cultivation speed is almost comparable to Mr. Qi's. Yeah, I'm afraid it won't be long before their cultivation surpasses ours. That Mo Sin's cultivation has reached the 2nd level of the divine power level. Qi Lian and the others were shocked when they saw Mo Sun and the other demon situation. Then, the crowd quietly watched the demons make breakthroughs. After a few hours, the demons in the Hexian Palace finally stopped breaking through. There are a total of 2,274 demons at the 1st level of the divine power level and 37 demons at the 2nd level of the divine power level. After counting the number of demons in the divine power level, Mo Qingyun let out a bright smile. He was a little excited. A few thousand divine power level powerhouses. Even the sect he was in his previous life did not have such a terrifying strength. Including the words of Qi Lian and the others, the number of transcendent realm experts in the Azure Cloud Palace had already exceeded 2,300. Over 2,300 transcendent realm cultivators. This was a terrifying number. If the other sects in the Gene State knew that there were over 2,300 divine power level powerhouses in the Qingyun Palace, they would probably be scared out of their wits. Not to mention the other sects in the Gene State. Even the Paragon sects would be scared out of their wits if they knew about this. Bang, bang, bang. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and the others were shocked by the demon's breakthroughs, a series of loud noises came from outside the Qingyun Palace. People of the Qingyun Palace, get out here and die. After a series of intense attacks on the array, a furious voice came from outside the Qingyun Palace and entered the ears of Mo Qingyun and the others. They're here. After hearing this, Mo Qingyun's expression changed subconsciously. He quickly guessed the result. The people from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion were here. Let's go out and welcome the guests. Knowing that the people from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion had arrived, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately walked out of the Hexian Palace. Yes, Qi Lian and the others immediately followed behind Mo Qingyun and went to welcome the people from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion who had attacked the Qingyun Palace. At this moment, intense anticipation surfaced on the faces of Qi Lian and the others. In their opinion, if the people from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion knew that there were over 2,000 divine power level powerhouses in the Qingyun Palace, they would probably be scared to death. Chapter 8:12. In the Heavenly Book Pavilion. Pavilion Master, I just heard that the Pavilion Master of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion has personally gone to Qingyun Palace. An old man dressed in a scholar's robe stood behind the old man of Heavenly Book and reported to him respectfully. Yang Taiyan has personally gone to Qingyun Palace? The old man of Heavenly Book was shocked when he heard this, and a look of worry appeared in his eyes. In his opinion, although the Qingyun Palace was not weak, it was still lacking compared to the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion that had dominated the Jin province for many years. While the old man of Heavenly Book was worried, the middle-aged scholar revealed a grave expression and said to the old man of Heavenly Book, in addition, the subordinate also reported that the Pavilion Master of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion, Yang Taiyan, has broken through to the 7th level of the Divine Power Realm a few days ago. Yang Taiyan has broken through to the 7th level of the Divine Power Realm? The old man of Heavenly Book was shocked again, and his worry grew stronger. He said anxiously, "This won't do. I have to make a trip to Qingyun Palace. With the current strength of the Qingyun Palace, it's absolutely impossible to fight against the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion." The old man of Heavenly Book no longer hesitated and immediately went to Qingyun Palace. When the old man of Heavenly Book was heading to Qingyun Palace, the Burning Heaven Hall also received the news that the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion had invaded Qingyun Palace. What? Yang Taiyan's cultivation has broken through to the 7th level of the Divine Power Realm, and he has personally led people to Qingyun Palace? Duan Muyanghe was shocked when he heard this news from the old man in front of him. His expression became grave, and he said, "With the current strength of the Qingyun Palace, it's impossible for them to fight against an expert of the advanced level of the Divine Power Realm. This time, the Qingyun Palace is in trouble. Hall Master, I'm afraid the Qingyun Palace is doomed this time. Should we keep a distance from the Qingyun Palace?" At the moment when Duan Muyanghe was feeling anxious, the old man before Duan Muyanghe spoke to ask for his opinion. No. Hearing this person's words, Duan Muyanghe rejected it without any hesitation. He revealed a resolute expression and said, "Right now, the Qingyun Palace is facing a huge crisis. This is the best opportunity to form a good relationship with them. If we miss this opportunity, all our previous efforts will be wasted. But if we get too close to the Qingyun Palace, won't we incur the displeasure of the heavenly cloud pavilion? Hearing Duanmuyangha's thoughts, this person revealed a worried expression and wanted to persuade Duanmuyangha. Great Elder of Heavenly Mandate, you don't have to persuade me anymore. I have made up my mind. Before this person finished speaking, Duanmuyangha interrupted him and said with a resolute expression, "My Burning Sky Hall has stood in the Jin province for several tens of thousands of years and has never developed much. If it was in the past, although the Burning Sky Hall didn't develop much, I wouldn't be in a hurry to strengthen the Burning Sky Hall. But after seeing what happened to the Demonic Flame Hall, I changed my mind." After speaking to that point, Duanmuyangha paused for a moment and continued. "If there's a day when my Burning Sky Hall encounters the same situation as the Demonic Flame Hall, I'm afraid that our Burning Sky Hall will not be able to escape the fate of being removed from the list. Thus, our Burning Sky Hall needs to quickly strengthen. The Qingyun Palace is the opportunity for our Burning Sky Hall to strengthen." Hearing that, the great elder Duanmu Tianyu's expression became hesitant. He wanted to continue persuading Duanmuyangha, but he hesitated. He was unable to refute Duanmuyangha's words at that moment. Duanmuyangha was correct. In the several tens of thousands of years since the establishment of the Burning Sky Hall, they had always been at the same place and did not advance in the slightest. Perhaps in the eyes of others, the Burning Sky Hall was one of the 9 great sects of the Jin province and had boundless glory. However, the people in charge of the Burning Sky Hall did not think that way. Every time they saw other sects surpass the Burning Sky Hall, they would feel abnormally resentful in their hearts, especially when they saw the Demonic Flame Hall, which was even stronger than the Burning Sky Hall, being directly wiped out by the Qingyun Palace. Their thoughts of strengthening the Burning Sky Hall became more and more intense, and they were not willing to continue dragging it out. They were worried that one day, the Demonic Flame Hall's outcome would become a lesson for the Burning Sky Hall. "Great Elder, this time, let's make a huge gamble. If it succeeds, the Burning Sky Hall will soar to the heavens. If it fails, we will move out of the Jin province." Looking at the silent Duanmu Tianyu, Duanmuyangha revealed a firm expression and spoke out the thoughts in his heart. Could it be that the Hall Master has such ambition? This old one will definitely support the Hall Master to the end. Knowing the thoughts in Duanmuyangha's heart, Duanmu Tianyu no longer hesitated and immediately expressed his attitude. "In that case, Great Elder, please instruct the Hall Masters of the various halls to follow me to support the Qingyun Palace." Seeing Duanmu Tianyu's attitude, Duanmuyangha nodded with satisfaction and immediately instructed him. Soon after, Duanmuyangha revealed a solemn expression and secretly prayed in his heart. "This time, the Burning Sky Hall will support the Qingyun Palace with all the strength of the sect. I hope that the Qingyun Palace will not disappoint me and that the old man of Heavenly Book can lend a hand." In fact, Duanmuyangha dared to help the Qingyun Palace so resolutely because he had considered the old man of Heavenly Book. If the old man of Heavenly Book was willing to lend a hand, Yang Taiyan would no longer be a concern, and it would be much easier for them to deal with the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Otherwise, he would not joke about the Burning Sky Hall's past. After all, with the superficial strength of the Qingyun Palace and the Burning Sky Hall, going against Yang Taiyan, who had a cultivation of the 7th level of the divine power, was no different from striking a stone with an egg. In the air outside the Qingyun Palace. "You're Mo Qingyun?" Yang Taiyan glanced at Mo Qingyun, and the others before his gaze stopped at Mo Qingyun in the middle of the crowd and said coldly, "That's right." Mo Qingyun did not deny it. He nodded calmly and pretended to be puzzled. "Gentlemen, why have you come to the Qingyun Palace with such fanfare? What is it?" Seeing that Mo Qingyun was pretending to be confused, Huijiao's expression immediately turned ferocious. He glared at Mo Qingyun and said, "Boy, your Qingyun Palace killed my senior and junior brothers of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Don't think that you can get away with it by pretending to be confused. So you're saying that you're here to avenge them?" Mo Qingyun smiled nonchalantly in response to Huijiao's angry actions. His eyes revealed a trace of mockery. Boy, since you know why we're here, you'd better be sensible and wait for death. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had guessed their intentions, Huijiao revealed a sinister smile and pointed at Yang Taiyan beside him. My master, Yang Taiyan, is the pavilion master of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. He's an expert with a cultivation of the 7th level of the divine power. Therefore, you'd better not take any chances and think that you're qualified to contend with the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Is the 7th level of the divine power very strong? Mo Qingyun curled his lips nonchalantly in response to Huijiao's words and asked Huijiao a question in return. Boy, according to what you're saying, you're not going to wait for death? Huijiao's expression immediately darkened when he heard Mo Qingyun's words, and he said coldly. Chapter 8:13. I didn't want to bully the weak, but since you don't know what's good for you, don't blame me for being ruthless. After hearing Huijiao's words, Yang Taiyan revealed a ferocious expression and uttered a sinister sentence. Yang Taiyan no longer hesitated and was about to attack Mo Qingyun and the others. Pavilion Master Yang, please show mercy. Just as Yang Taiyan was about to make his move, an elderly figure hurried over and made a request to him. This old figure was naturally Old Man Tian Shu, who had come after hearing the news. Old Man Tian Shu soon arrived in front of the crowd and stopped beside Mo Qingyun. Heavenly Book Pavilion Master, what do you mean by this? Seeing the old man of Tianshu's action, Yang Taiyan uttered some words of displeasure, and his expression turned grave. At the same time, a sense of vigilance and apprehension arose in Yang Taiyan's heart. In his opinion, if old man Tian Shu intervened, it would be difficult for him to wipe out Qingyun Palace today. Although the disciples of Heavenly Book Pavilion were not good at fighting, old man Tian Shu's cultivation was profound and had already broken through to the advanced level of divine power. Yang Taiyan was not confident that he could defeat or repel old man Tian Shu in a real fight. Pavilion Master Yang, if revenge breeds revenge, will there ever be an end to it? Why don't we both take a step back? Old man Tian Shu smiled faintly in response to Yang Taiyan's displeased words and comforted him. I think it's a good thing for both Heavenly Cloud Pavilion and Qingyun Palace if this matter is dropped. Old man Tian Shu, don't just stand there and talk. Upon hearing old man Tian Shu's words, Huijiao revealed a furious expression and spoke in dissatisfaction. If your disciples were killed, I, Huijiao, can guarantee that you would not be so indifferent. You might even be angrier than us. Old man Tian Shu, your Heavenly Book Pavilion has never interfered in the disputes of other forces. Are you going to break the rule now? Yang Taiyan questioned Huijiao with a gloomy expression on his face when he heard Huijiao's words. Old man Tian Shu could not help but frown when he heard Yang Taiyan's words. He looked troubled. Yang Taiyan was right. The Heavenly Sutra Pavilion had never participated in the struggle between various forces. If he were to intervene in the struggle between the Qingyun Palace and the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion, he would certainly break the tradition of the Heavenly Sutra Pavilion that had lasted for hundreds of thousands of years. This point indeed put old man of Heavenly Book in a difficult position. At this moment, the old man of Heavenly Book revealed a difficult expression as he hesitated on what to do. One after another, astonishing auras rapidly approached the Qingyun Palace. These are the people of the Burning Sky Palace. Burning Heaven Palace. The faces of Yang Taiyan and the others darkened when they saw Duanmu Yanghe and the others rapidly approaching. Their eyes revealed a strong, killing intent. They did not expect that a small Burning Sky Hall would go against them because of Qingyun Palace. They were extremely fearful of Old Man Heavenly Book, but it did not mean that they would also be fearful of Burning Heaven Hall. Nephew Qingyun, we're not too late, right? Soon, Duanmu Yanghe and the others stopped beside Mo Qingyun under the watchful eyes of the crowd. Thank you for coming to help, Uncle Duanmu. When he saw Duanmu Yanghe and the others arrive, Mo Qingyun revealed a grateful expression and nodded to them. In Mo Qingyun's view, The arrival of Duanmuyanghe and the others did not have much impact on the outcome of the situation. However, the Burning Sky Palace did not hesitate to offend the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion to come and help Qingyun Palace. This kind of intention was rare and valuable. Yang Taiyan's expression immediately turned ferocious when he saw Duanmuyanghe and the others approaching Emo Qingyun. He gnashed his teeth and said, "Duanmuyanghe, since you want to destroy the foundation of the Burning Sky Palace that has been established for tens of thousands of years, I'll fulfill your wish today. Pavilion Master Yang, although the strength of my Burning Sky Palace is ordinary, it is not to the extent of being frightened by a single sentence." Duanmuyanghe responded arrogantly to Yang Taiyan's cold words and continued, "In addition, although the strength of my Burning Sky Palace is not even 1/10 of your Heavenly Cloud Pavilion strength, you will still have to pay a heavy price if you want to destroy my Burning Sky Palace. Senior Old Man, Heavenly Book, Uncle Duanmu, thank you for coming to help." Emo Qingyun smiled faintly at Duanmuyanghe and Old Man, Heavenly Book. He cast a disdainful glance at Yang Taiyan and the others and said, "The two of you can rest assured that these people from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion alone cannot do anything to my Qingyun Palace. Therefore, just leave the rest to me." Duanmuyanghe and the others were stunned when they heard Emo Qingyun's words. They were shocked. Emo Qingyun's words were too unexpected for them. "I know what I'm doing. You don't have to worry too much. Just go to the side and watch." Emo Qingyun smiled faintly at the surprised Old Man, Heavenly Book, and the others and said, "If you really want to help, you can help me guard the surroundings and don't let the people from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion escape. In that case, we'll go to the side and watch first." Old Man, Heavenly Book, and the others no longer insisted when they heard Emo Qingyun's words. They turned around and flew to the side. Based on their understanding of Emo Qingyun, they believed that Emo Qingyun would never say that if he did not have a certain degree of confidence. "Boy, you are indeed as arrogant as the rumors say." However, people who are too arrogant easily die early. Yang Taiyan and the others immediately sneered when they saw Old Man Heavenly Book flying to the side. A strong sense of pride rose in their hearts. In their opinion, it would be much easier for him to destroy Qingyun Palace now that Old Man Heavenly Book and the Burning Sky Palace would not interfere. Yang Taiyan no longer hesitated after he said those words. His figure flashed and attacked Emo Qingyun. The sealed gate. Emo Qingyun did not hesitate in the slightest in the face of Yang Taiyan's attack and immediately displayed his martial soul divine ability. A mini-light gate condensed in Emo Qingyun's hand and blasted toward Yang Taiyan at an extremely fast speed. Then, Yang Taiyan was struck by the Gate of Seals, which sealed and suppressed his spirit and bloodline. Puffed. Yang Taiyan immediately spat out a mouthful of blood as his spirit and bloodline were suppressed and sealed. His aura rapidly weakened. Yang Taiyan's cultivation dropped from the 7th level of the divine ability to the peak of the early stage of the 6th level of the divine ability. How did this happen? What did you do to me?" Seeing that his cultivation had dropped by 1 realm, Yang Taiyan immediately revealed a look of horror and uttered a question in a panic. He had been cultivating in seclusion for hundreds of years, and his cultivation had only broken through from the 6th level of the divine ability to the 7th level of the divine ability. How could he not panic when his cultivation dropped back to the 6th level of the divine ability in the blink of an eye? To him, this scene was too strange and too frightening. "Qi Lian, kill this man for me." Emo Qingyun did not pay any attention to Yang Taiyan's panicked expression as he instructed Qi Lian in a cold tone. "Yes, young lord." Chapter 814. Qi Lian uttered these cold words and pounced on Yang Taiyan in a ruthless and fierce manner. Faced with Qi Lian's powerful attack, Yang Taiyan was immediately suppressed and was forced into a passive position. Perfected will of blood. Yang Taiyan's face was filled with disbelief and shock when he sensed the surging power of blood and qi from Qi Lian. The red-haired old man before him was only at the 6th level of the divine power, but he actually possessed perfected will of blood. Yang Taiyan was currently at the 7th level of the divine power, but his will of blood was still at the 5th level. This showed how shocking it was for Qi Lian to possess perfected will of blood. After this discovery, Yang Taiyan's gaze toward Qi Lian immediately revealed a tinge of fear and reverence. Given Qi Lian's powerful will of blood, he might not be able to defeat Qi Lian even if he was at the 7th level of the divine power, let alone the fact that he was only at the 6th level of the divine power. After all, the reason why a 7th level of the divine power was powerful was that their comprehension of will of blood was higher. Master is actually being suppressed by that red-haired old man. Seeing Yang Taiyan's situation, the faces of Hu Jiao and the others twitched and revealed intense horror. In contrast to Hu Jiao and the others, Mo Qingyan nodded in satisfaction when he saw Qi Lian's performance. Senior He Xian, I'll have to trouble you with Hu Jiao and the others. After withdrawing his gaze from Qi Lian, Mo Qingyan instructed He Xian and then turned to Feng Moyun and the others. Moyun, Ling Mao, Ling Rao, I'll leave the rest of the people from the heavenly cloud pavilion to you. I'll have I Demon assist you later. Yes, young lord. Having received Mo Qingyun's instructions, Feng Moyun and the others no longer hesitated and immediately attacked the other people from the heavenly cloud pavilion. Subsequently, waves of shockingly powerful aura erupted from He Xian and the others. Sensing the aura from Qi Lian and the others, the expressions of the old man of Heavenly Book and the others changed to that of shock. 2 at the 6th level of the Transcendent God Realm, 3 at the 5th level of the Transcendent God Realm, and several at the middle level of the Transcendent God Realm. The Qing Yun Palace actually has so many experts. Old man of Heavenly Book's pupils constricted, and his expression revealed a strong shock. He once again had a whole new level of respect for Qing Yun Palace's strength. These people's cultivations have all increased. Duanmu Yanghe and the others also revealed shocked expressions when they discovered the changes in Qi Lian and the others' cultivation. They sighed in their hearts. From the looks of it now, Qing Yun Palace's foundation is no longer inferior to the Sky Cloud Pavilion. This Qing Yun Palace's potential is indeed limitless. You want to compete with us with just over 20 Transcendent Realm experts? Dream on. Looking at He Xian and the others who were charging towards him, Hu Jiao revealed a disdainful expression and mocked them. In his opinion, the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion's 100 or so Transcendent Realm experts were more than enough to deal with He Xian's group, who said that there are only 20 or so Transcendent Realm experts in my Qingyun Palace. Hearing Hu Jiao's words, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly as she asked with a faint smile. She then instructed Mo's son and the other demons. Mo, son, now is the time for you to show the results of your cultivation. Go all out and don't show any mercy. Yes, Queen Mother. Receiving Mo Qingyun's order, the demons responded respectfully and flew out of He Xian's palace. Following that, terrifying auras exploded in midair. These are the auras of Transcendent Realm experts. Not long after, everyone saw that the people from the Sky Cloud Pavilion were surrounded by many demons. After seeing this scene, everyone's expressions twitched, and a strong sense of fear rose in them. More than 2,000 demons with Transcendent Realm cultivation. Qing Yun Palace actually had more than 2,000 demons with Transcendent Realm cultivation. This was a little too terrifying. This kid. Looking at more than 2,000 demons with Transcendent Realm cultivation in midair, Old Man Tian Shu suddenly felt his scalp go numb and could not help but feel a lingering fear. He believed that even if he went all out, he would not be able to defeat so many demons with Transcendent Realm cultivation. What shocking, kid. It seems like I was overthinking this time. After a brief moment of shock, Old Man Tian Shu could not help but sigh in his heart. The way he looked at Mo Qingyun changed a little. Compared to Old Man Tian Shu's shock, Duanmu Yanghe and the others were overjoyed at that moment. I made the right bet. Mo Qingyun really did not disappoint me. Looking at more than 2,000 demons with transcendent realm cultivation in midair, Duan Muyanghe was immediately ecstatic and excited. With more than 2,000 demons with transcendent realm cultivation, the rise of Qingyun Palace was unstoppable. Not to mention the Sky Cloud Pavilion, even a pseudo-supreme sect would have to think twice before making a move on Qingyun Palace. The strength of Qingyun Palace has actually reached such a terrifying level. In my opinion, unless a supreme sect takes action personally, there is no other sect that can suppress Qingyun Palace. In my opinion, it won't be long before the forces of Jin Province are unified. Mo Qingyun became the prefecture lord of Jin Province with Heaven Dipper realm cultivation. I'm afraid the other provinces will be shocked. At this moment, the elders of Burning Sky Hall were shocked as a strong feeling rose in their hearts. 2,000 demons with transcendent realm cultivation. Looking at the black mass of demons, Huijiao and the others' faces twitched as despair appeared in their eyes. They did not expect that the number of transcendent realm cultivators in Qingyun Palace was actually 20 times that of the Sky Cloud Pavilion. More importantly, these divine-tier powerhouses were the demon beasts with strange attacking methods. Facing 20 times the number of demons, they did not have the slightest chance of survival. This time, they were completely defeated. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Just as Huijiao and the others were in despair, Mo, Sun, and the other demons made a strong move. Immediately after, sharp rays of power blasted toward Huijiao. These rays of power transformed into various shapes as soon as they were shot out, such as sharp swords, corrosive mist, formation runes. Due to the demon's special devouring ability, they had comprehended various methods as they continued to devour other people's corpses. As a result, demon now had thousands of methods and techniques. Facing the tricky and sharp attacks of power, some of the elders of the Sky Cloud Pavilion were quickly killed. Seeing this, Yang Taiyun's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets as intense grief and indignation appeared on his face. These people were the mainstays of the Sky Cloud Pavilion. He did not expect that nearly a third of them would be killed in such a short period of time. This kind of blow was too cruel to him. First, more than half of his disciples were killed. Now, nearly a third of his disciples were killed. This kind of pain was like a knife cutting his flesh. Retreat. Seeing that he could not wipe out Qingyun Palace, Yang Taiyun decisively did not want to stay any longer and increase the casualties. Chapter 8:15. Upon receiving Yang Taiyun's instructions, Huijiao and the others from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion did not dare to linger any longer. They turned around and fled for their lives. However, before Huijiao and the others could get up and escape, the devils had already cut off their escape route. Huijiao and the others immediately despaired at the sight of this, and their faces turned pale. It seemed that there was no hope for them to escape today. They were all going to die here. Qingyun Palace. Yang Taiyun, will remember today's enmity. I'll definitely return it tenfold in the future. Yang Taiyun gnashed his teeth in anger when he saw that Huijiao and the others' escape route had been blocked. He knew very well that the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion was considered to be crippled after today's battle. After losing Huijiao and the other mainstays, the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion was left with only a few disciples and grand disciples. It would be too difficult for them to grow stronger again, given the current relationship between the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion and Qingyun Palace. How could the Qingyun Palace allow the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion to recuperate and make a comeback? TSK, since I've already said so, I'll become your nourishment. How can I let you escape? You better stay here obediently. Qi Lian smiled sinisterly when he heard Yang Taiyun's angry words and rapidly closed in on Yang Taiyun. While Qi Lian was pursuing Yang Taiyun, a golden circle appeared on his right hand and exuded a strange power. This power was different from the tyrannical power of Yuan energy or the illusory power of the soul. Instead, it gave off a much more powerful feeling. God Binding Ring. As soon as the golden circle appeared, it shot toward Yang Taiyan at extreme speed and caught up with him in an instant. Once the God Binding Ring caught up with Yang Taiyan, it emitted a dazzling golden glow and enveloped him. Once Yang Taiyan was enveloped by the golden radiance of the God Binding Ring, his escape was stopped, and he was trapped inside. What? What is this thing? It can actually withstand my full force attack. Seeing that he was trapped in the God Binding Ring, Yang Taiyan revealed a deranged expression and frantically bombarded the God Binding Ring. What was the God Binding Ring? It was a treasure from the Wasteland continent. Even a Supreme Realm expert might not be able to break it. How could Yang Taiyan break it so easily? God Binding Ring. Old Man Tian Shu's face twitched when he saw the God Binding Ring. His eyes were filled with awe and fear. At this moment, he seemed to recall many dusty memories. Senior Heavenly Book, what is this God Binding Ring? Why had I never heard of it? When Duanmu Yanghe heard Old Man Tian Shu's surprised words, he revealed a puzzled expression and asked, "The origin of this God Binding Ring is extremely powerful. It's not something you can know for now." Hearing Duanmu Yanghe's words, Old Man Heavenly Book's expression turned serious as he warned Duanmu Yanghe. In addition, before your cultivation reaches the pinnacle of the spirit realm, it's best not to investigate the God Binding Ring. This is not beneficial to you or the Burning Heavens Hall. Hiss! The expressions of Duanmu Yanghe and the others froze when they heard Old Man Tian Shu's words. They involuntarily inhaled a breath of cold air. None of them had expected the God Binding Ring to have such a great background. Those below the peak of Transcendent Realm were not qualified to ask about it. Of course, what shocked Duanmu Yanghe even more was the identity of the person who possessed the God Binding Ring. As Mo Qingyun's servant, Qi Lian actually possessed a treasure like the God Binding Ring. This was too unbelievable. In this case, Mo Qingyun's true identity was a little too frightening. Could it be that Mo Qingyun is the successor of a sovereign? At this moment, a bold guess unconsciously rose in Duanmu Yanghe's heart. As soon as this thought appeared, Duanmu Yanghe's gaze towards Mo Qingyun immediately underwent a huge change. The successor of a sovereign. What kind of awesome identity was this? Following this thought, the doubts in Duanmu Yanghe's heart seemed to have been answered at once. If Mo Qingyun was really the successor of a sovereign, everything made sense for him to be able to rise so quickly. If a force with the support of a sovereign expert couldn't develop quickly, it could only be said that they were too useless. Yang Taiyan must have been blind to have offended Mo Qingyun. Duanmu Yanghe couldn't help but sigh at the thought of Yang Taiyan's fate. He felt like a fox mourning the death of a hare. Of course, while Duanmu Yanghe was sighing, a sense of excitement also rose in his heart. Their Burning Heavens Hall had actually managed to get close to a successor of a sovereign. How many piles of dog shit did they have to step on to achieve this? Next, they just had to wait for Mo Qingyun to grow up, and then they would follow suit. Given Mo Qingyun's monstrous talent, Duanmu Yanghe had no doubts about Mo Qingyun's future achievements. In this way, there was naturally no need to worry about the future development of the Burning Heavens Hall. The thought of the Burning Heavens Hall establishing itself in the major domain one day made Duanmu Yanghe's blood boil. He couldn't wait to see that day. At this moment, if Duanmu Yanghe knew that Mo Qingyun was the reincarnation of a sovereign expert, he would probably faint from happiness. Then, under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Qi Lian came in front of Yang Taiyan and directly attacked him. As Qi Lian attacked with all his might, a bloody light suddenly soared into the sky. His yuan energy surged out like a dam. Under Qi Lian's powerful attack, Yang Taiyan immediately fell into a life and death situation. He could be killed by Qi Lian at any time. TSK, do you think that I can't do anything to you just because you're struggling on your deathbed? Qi Lian smiled eerily as he watched Yang Taiyan struggling on his deathbed. A bloodthirsty look flashed in his eyes. Bloodthirsty, demonic skill, monstrous blood sea. Qi Lian raised his head and let out a loud cry. His entire body exploded and turned into a gloomy sea of blood that instantly swallowed Yang Taiyan. I'll get out of my way. Don't devour my flesh and blood. You kill me. I beg you to kill me. Yang Taiyan was swallowed by Qi Lian's sea of blood. He let out a series of miserable screams that were filled with desolation. This is the bloodthirsty, demonic skill. Old man Tian Shu was shocked when he saw Qi Lian attack. He stared at the sea of blood that Qi Lian had turned into and said, "Could it be that Qi Lian is the successor of the Blood Refinement Demon King? The successor of the Blood Refinement Demon King has become Mo Qingyun's servant. What is Mo Qingyun's identity?" At this moment, Mo Qingyun became more and more mysterious in old man Tian Shu's mind. The bloodthirsty, demonic skill. Duanmu Yanghe and the others trembled when they heard old man Tian Shu's words. They looked at Qi Lian with reverence. The bloodthirsty demonic skill was famous in the heavenly soul realm. Although it was listed as an unorthodox cultivation technique, it was undeniably powerful. The Blood Refinement Demon King, who cultivated the bloodthirsty demonic skill, was known to be invincible under the Supreme Being realm. How could Duanmu Yanghe and the others not be shocked when they learned about the cultivation technique that Qi Lian cultivated? Then, Duanmu Yanghe and the others were shocked as they watched Qi Lian devour Yang Taiyan alive. Chapter 816. Young Lord, everything is settled. After killing Yang Taiyan and the others, Qi Lian and the others came to Mo Qingyun and handed the Chinquan pouch that they had looted to Mo Qingyun. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and took the Cosmos sack. He ordered Feng Moyun and the others, Moyun, Ling Mao, Ling Rao. Now that all the powerhouses of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion have been killed, the few of you go to the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion and make it disappear completely in the long river of history. Yes, young lord. Feng Moyun and the others responded and immediately set off for the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion after hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions. However, just to be safe, Mo Qingyun also sent 1,000 divine power realm demons to accompany Feng Moyun and the others to the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Elder Tian Shu, Uncle Duanmu, let's go back to Qingyun Palace. After instructing Feng Moyun and the others, Mo Qingyun walked to Elder Tian Shu and the others and gestured for them to enter. If that's the case, then I'll have to trouble you. Elder Tian Shu chuckled and nodded at Mo Qingyun when he saw Mo Qingyun's invitation. All right, Duanmu Yanghe also smiled brightly at Mo Qingyun's invitation and nodded happily in agreement. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's invitation to enter Qingyun Palace meant that he recognized them as allies. Then, everyone followed Mo Qingyun back to Qingyun Palace. Young lord, I'll take my leave first. After returning to Qingyun Palace, Qi Lian asked for instructions from Mo Qingyun and went to He Xian Palace to cultivate. Seeing Qi Lian's actions, Mo Qingyun knew that he was going to refine Yang Taiyan's blood essence. Little fellow, if there's nothing else, this old man will go back and cultivate. After Qi Lian left, He Xian gave some instructions to Mo Qingyun and quickly returned to He Xian Hall. Senior Heavenly Book, Uncle Duanmu, let's go. Seeing that Qi Lian and He Xian had left, Mo Qingyun did not stay any longer. He walked straight to the Qingyun Palace's conference hall. A short while later, the group arrived at the Qingyun Palace conference hall. After entering the conference hall, old man Tian Shu did not beat around the bush and directly reminded Mo Qingyun. Qingyun, regarding that Mr. Qi, this old man suggests that if you don't have full confidence in suppressing him, it's best to make him leave the Qingyun Palace as soon as possible. The old man of Heavenly Book was very worried. With Qi Lian's powerful strength and potential, if he were to rebel one day, it would definitely be a very terrifying thing. Oh, hearing the old man of Heavenly Book's words, Mo Qingyun was slightly stunned. He did not understand the old man of Heavenly Book's meaning. It seems that the old man of Heavenly Book has guessed Qi Lian's identity. However, after a short moment of doubt, Mo Qingyun understood the old man of heavenly book's meaning. He smiled faintly and said, "Senior heavenly book, there's no need to doubt Qi Lian's loyalty. He has followed me since the great Yin dynasty's vassal kingdom. There's no problem with his loyalty." "That's great." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the old man of heavenly book's eyebrows relaxed a little. He nodded at Mo Qingyun and said with a smile, "It seems that you also know Mr. Qi's identity. However, it's better for you to be cautious. After all, his origin is not ordinary." Mo Qingyun nodded. He knew that the old man of heavenly book's actions were out of good intentions. "Nephew Qingyun, the position of Jin Region's prefecture master has been vacant for many years. I think you can take this opportunity to ascend the throne directly." At that moment, Duanmu Yanghe, who was at the side, revealed a solemn expression and suggested to Mo Qingyun, "Prefecture master?" Mo Qingyun frowned slightly when he heard this. A trace of hesitation rose in his heart. Naturally, he knew about the position of the prefecture master. However, in order to succeed the position of the prefecture master, he had to obtain the recognition of the territorial master of the great region. At that moment, Mo Qingyun did not want to be involved with the great region. Hence, he was a little hesitant. When Duanmu Yanghe saw Mo Qingyun's hesitant expression, he mistakenly thought that he did not know what a prefecture master was. Hence, he explained, "Qingyun, in every prefecture in the great region, there will be a prefecture master who is in charge of all the major sections. If you become the prefecture master, Qingyun Palace will not only receive the protection of the great region, but you can also enjoy the tributes from the other sects in Jin region." When Mo Qingyun heard Duanmu Yanghe's words, he pondered for a while and said, "The matter of becoming the prefecture master involves a lot of things. This matter cannot be rushed. Let's stabilize the situation in Jin region first." Qingyun is right. The matter of becoming the prefecture master cannot be rushed. When the old man of heavenly book heard Mo Qingyun's words, he nodded in agreement and said with a solemn expression, "In addition, Longxian Store is a branch of Longxian Treasure Store, the largest trading company in the Tianhan continent. Qingyun, if you want to become the prefecture master, you have to interact with them more." "Yes." Mo Qingyun nodded in agreement with the old man of heavenly book suggestion and said, "The ancients have said that one must first conquer the world before claiming the throne. The most important thing for us now is to make the other sects submit to us as soon as possible." "That's right." When the old man of heavenly book and Duanmu Yanghe heard Mo Qingyun's words, they both nodded in agreement. Subsequently, Mo Qingyun, Duanmu Yanghe, and the others chatted for a while before the old man of heavenly book, Duanmu Yanghe, and the others left. After sending off Duanmu Yanghe and the others, Mo Qingyun returned to his residence and entered the five-direction small pagoda. After entering the five-direction small pagoda, Mo Qingyun took out the Chinquan bags of Yang Taiyan and the others and counted them one by one. The Heavenly Cloud Pavilion was indeed the #1 sect in Jin region. The collection of the elders and hall masters in the sect was absolutely rich. However, although they were rich, they were far inferior to the tens of thousands of years of accumulation of the Demon Flame Palace. Therefore, after a round of counting, the wealth of these elders and hall masters only made Mo Qingyun's collection a little richer. There was nothing that really moved Mo Qingyun. "I hope Yang Taiyan's Chinquan bag won't disappoint me too much." After counting the Chinquan bags of the others, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of anticipation and opened Yang Taiyan's Chinquan bag. As the pavilion master of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion, the number of items in Yang Taiyan's Chinquan bag was naturally incomparable to the others. This is the fallen leaf sword. After a round of inspection, a long sword that looked like a willow leaf attracted Mo Qingyun's attention. Looking at the long sword in front of him, Mo Qingyun's body immediately trembled. His expression revealed grief and indignation as he choked with sobs. Then, Mo Qingyun revealed an excited expression and took the sword out of the Chinquan bag. Then, Mo Qingyun revealed a kind look as if he was a loving father looking at the long sword in his hand. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Just then, under Mo Qingyun's gentle caress, the long sword trembled slightly and emitted an imperceptible soul fluctuation. Soul fluctuation? Sensing the soul fluctuation in the long sword, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed, and he revealed an excited look. This soul fluctuation belongs to Yi Er. Could it be that Yi Er is still alive? Chapter 817. Clang. As the seal on the willow leaf sword was removed, the sound of a sword being unsheathed reverberated throughout the second level of the Five Directions small pagoda. At the same time, Mo Qingyun saw a transparent figure floating out from the willow leaf sword. "Who are you?" Seeing Mo Qingyun in front of him, the figure revealed a shocked expression and said coldly, "You saved me." "Yes." Hearing that, Mo Qingyun nodded and revealed a nervous expression. He asked, "Little Yi Er, Su Chao, Yongjun, Wu Qiupeng, are they all okay now?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the figure's expression immediately turned cold. He said, "Speak quickly. Who are you? Were you sent by Li He and the rest?" "Huh?" Hearing this figure's words, Mo Qingyun's expression was slightly stunned, somewhat surprised by the other party's reaction. However, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding very quickly, understanding the reason behind it. "Now that I've been reborn, it's normal that little Yi Er can't recognize me." Mo Qingyun laughed self-deprecatingly. At this moment, his concern was in a mess, and he forgot this crucial point. After that, Mo Qingyun's expression became slightly more solemn, and he said, "Little Yi, this fallen leaf sword was something that Master gathered when you broke through to the Pill Emperor realm all those years ago. I used the celestial lake Pill cauldron to refine it for 49 days, and I named it the Fallen Leaf Pill Sword. Later on, you felt that the Fallen Leaf Pill Sword's name wasn't nice, so you changed it to the Fallen Leaf Sword." "You are." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qiuye's expression immediately became agitated, and her chest heaved up and down. At this moment, the matter that Mo Qingyun said was only known to her and her master. Guqi now, this young man in his early 20s in front of her, actually knew the details of the matter. Didn't this mean that this young man in front of her was? This discovery really shocked Qiuye quite a bit. Impossible. Qiuye shook her head continuously, unable to accept this fact in her heart and forcefully rejecting her guess. Sigh. Seeing Qiuye's actions, Mo Qingyun sighed and understood Qiuye's thoughts. He continued, "Back then, Li He, Yang Yunfeng, and Yi Feiyang entered the Heaven Spirit Tomb together. Later on, when they found out that the 9-pill Heavens technique was obtained by me, they joined forces to launch a sneak attack on me. Following that, Mo Qingyun gave a simple account of what had happened to Qiuye. This body I have now is a physical body that I borrowed to regenerate." Mo Qingyun sighed sadly. He looked at Qiuye sternly and said, "If you still don't believe me, I can tell you a few more things. I remember that when you were 7 years old, you wandered through the multicolor ancient kingdom. I met you in a shabby Taoist temple. When you were 9, you learned alchemy from me." As Mo Qingyun continued to explain, the expression on Qiuye's face became more and more excited. Everything Mo Qingyun said was detailed and accurate. Furthermore, only she and Guqi knew about these things. Thus, there was no suspicion that someone else had gathered this information and then used it to deceive her. This meant that this young man in his early 20s was really Guqi's body. "Master, it really is you." After confirming Mo Qingyun's identity, Qiuye pounced in Mo Qingyun's arms with an aggrieved expression. However, when she pounced, she directly passed through Mo Qingyun's body. "Master, Qiuye's expression immediately dimmed when she saw this. Helplessness and despair appeared on her face. Seeing Qiuye's actions, Mo Qingyun understood what she was thinking. He smiled comfortingly at her. Little Yi, don't worry too much. As long as I refine the 9 transformation body shaping pill, you'll be able to reconstruct your physical body after consuming it. 9 transformation body shaping pill. Chiyoye's eyes brightened when she heard Mo Qingyun's words. Her expression revealed a trace of anticipation. However, Chiyoye's expression quickly became dejected again. Her eyes dimmed as she said, Master, the ingredients needed to refine the 9 transformation body shaping pill are all rare items. I've been like this for over 800 years. I'm already used to it. You don't have to run around and tire yourself out for me. Little girl, why are you still being so courteous with me? Mo Qingyun revealed a loving expression when he saw Chiyoye's reaction. He smiled faintly at her and said, although the ingredients for the 9 transformation body shaping pill are rare, I already have 90% of the ingredients. I'm only missing the Phoenix Blood Nirvana fruit, Mara Resurrection Grass, and soul-suppressing Iron Tree Branch. Thank you, Master. Chiyoye's eyes brightened when she heard Mo Qingyun's words. Her expression revealed surprise. Although she didn't want Mo Qingyun to run around and tire himself out, because of her, she still hoped that she could reconstruct her physical body. Tell me, how did you become like this? Seeing Chiyoye's current state, Mo Qingyun revealed a pained expression and asked her, what happened? Yes, Master. Chiyoye nodded obediently and began to recount to Mo Qingyun. Back then, after you went missing, Master, Li He, Yi Fiong, and Yang Yunfeng led their respective disciples to attack the Heavenly Pool Sacred Mountain. They breached the Heavenly Pool Sacred Mountain with thunderous force. At that time, I fled for my life in the direction of the eastern mainland and lost contact with my senior brothers. Chiyoye's face revealed a look of grief and indignation, as if she had recalled a painful memory. In the process of my escape, I met the despicable Yang Taiyan. I don't know how he found out about my identity and used tricks to get close to me. Later on, he ambushed me and destroyed my physical body. In the end, I've been sealed in the fallen leaf soared by him ever since. Yang Taiyan, Mo Qingyun immediately emitted a chill when he heard Chiyoye's words. He wished he could dig out Yang Taiyan's corpse and whip it. Master, you've just been reborn in another body. Don't go looking for Yang Taiyan rashly. Chiyoye revealed a nervous expression when she sensed Mo Qingyun's murderous intent. She advised Mo Qingyun, if my guess is right, his cultivation should have reached the advanced level of the divine ability with the help of the elixirs in my Chinkoan bag. Don't worry, Yang Taiyan is already dead. Mo Qingyun comforted Chiyoye when he heard her words of concern. He then asked with a nervous expression, did you receive any news from your senior brothers while you were fleeing to the eastern mainland? Chiyoye's expression changed slightly when she heard Mo Qingyun's words. She believed Mo Qingyun's words. In her opinion, if Mo Qingyun hadn't killed Yang Taiyan, how could Mo Qingyun have obtained his Chinkoan bag? Chapter 818. Li He, Yi Fei Yang, Yang Yunfeng, wait for me. I'll be back soon. Mo Qingyun's expression was as cold as ice when he heard Chiyoye's story. A strong, killing intent exploded from his body. Although Master is only in the Heaven Dipper realm now, he makes me feel a kind of palpitating feeling. This is really unbelievable. Sensing Mo Qingyun's killing intent, Chiyoye's expression immediately trembled as a sense of fear rose in his heart. He thought to himself, it seems that after Master's rebirth, he has placed the focus of his cultivation on martial arts. After a short moment of shock, Chiyoye revealed a curious expression. She turned to Mo Qingyun and asked, Master, what is your current identity? I'm currently a third-generation junior of an ordinary family, the Mo family. In addition, I'm also a direct disciple of the Qingyun Palace. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at Chiyoye's question and briefly explained his identity. A third-generation junior of an ordinary family? A direct disciple of the Qingyun Palace? Chiyoye rolled her eyes when she heard Mo Qingyun's reply. She didn't believe Mo Qingyun's words at all. In Chiyoye's opinion, If a third-generation junior of an ordinary family had a Heaven Star Border Realm expert, then this ordinary family was too strong. What surprised Xiaoyi even more was that Mo Qingyun's sect was actually named after Mo Qingyun. Seeing the confusion and doubt on Xiaoyi's face, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and explained for her, "When I was reborn, the Mo family that I was in was just a small family in the northern desert town. The strongest person in the family was only at the true energy realm. As for the Qingyun Palace, it was renamed from a mystic ice palace, one of the 9 great sects of the Jin province. It's now under my control." Mo Qingyun gave a simple explanation of his rebirth to Qiuyi. "Master has taken control of the Qingyun Palace." Qiuyi's eyes widened in disbelief when she heard Mo Qingyun's words. Although Qiuyi had been sealed in the fallen leaf sword by Yang Taiyan, she still had some understanding of the state situation. In her opinion, Mo Qingyun was only at the Heaven Star Border Realm, but he actually overturned and took control of the Mystic Ice Palace. Wasn't this ability a little too powerful? While Qiuyi was in shock, Mo Qingyun's expression suddenly changed. His soul, his soul, his soul, his soul palace, his, yi, his soul, his yi. Once Mo Qingyun had a plan in mind, he did not want to hesitate any longer. He immediately instructed Qiuyi, "Little, I'm going to send you into a place. Don't resist." "Okay." Qiuyi nodded. She did not ask Mo Qingyun any further. Mo Qingyun then controlled the Soul Star and took Qiuyi into it. "Master, what is this place?" Qiuyi asked Mo Qingyun. She was surprised to see that she had entered the Soul Palace. "This is a space that I opened up. Do you feel uncomfortable staying in it?" Mo Qingyun gave a simple explanation to Qiuyi. Then, he asked about her current situation. "I feel great. There are a lot of soul power waves in here. I can use them to improve my cultivation." Qiuyi replied to Mo Qingyun in an excited tone. "That's good. You can stay here and cultivate for the time being." Mo Qingyun relaxed when he heard Qiuyi's answer. He was completely relieved. "Okay." Qiuyi nodded and agreed to Mo Qingyun's arrangement. After that, Mo Qingyun chatted with Qiuyi for a while before he continued to check the other items in Yang Taiyan's Shinkoin bag. This is the soul-suppressing iron tree branch. I didn't expect Yang Taiyan's Shinkoin bag to have such an item." Mo Qingyun looked at the branch in his hand, which was shrouded in black mist. He muttered to himself with an excited expression. In this case, the only materials needed to refine the 9 transformation body-shaping elixir are the Phoenix Blood Nirvana fruit and the Mara Resurrection grass. After a quarter of an hour, Mo Qingyun finished checking and organizing the items in Yang Taiyan's Shinkoin bag. Although Qingyun Palace is now the dominant force in Jin Province, there is still a big gap between them and the sects of the Supreme Beings. It seems that the foundation of Qingyun Palace is still too weak. Mo Qingyun could not help but sigh at this thought. He thought to himself, "It seems that I have to continue refining elixirs to improve the cultivation of the people of Qingyun Palace." Mo Qingyun then took out the elixir refining materials one by one, preparing to refine them into elixirs. Mo Qingyun spent the rest of the time refining elixirs. A month later in the 5 Directions Small Pagoda, at this moment, Mo Qingyun, who was in the midst of refining pills, stopped moving his hands. Clang! Mo Qingyun then raised his hand to open the lid of the sacred beast cauldron and took out the last batch of elixirs. With the help of these elixirs, it should be enough to increase the battle strength of Qingyun Palace by several times. Looking at the elixirs in his hand, Mo Qingyun was overjoyed and left the 5 Directions Small Pagoda in a flash. After leaving the 5 Directions Small Pagoda, Mo Qingyun returned to his room, opened the door, and walked out. He intended to give these elixirs to Ling Kai and let him distribute them evenly to the disciples and elders of Qingyun Palace to improve their cultivation. However, What surprised Mo Qingyun was that Ling Kai had hurriedly come to his courtyard before he even went to look for him. At this moment, Ling Kai's sister-in-law, Rin Qingqing, came with him. Both of them had grave expressions on their faces. "Uncle Ling, it's good that you're here. I have something to talk to you about." Seeing Ling Kai's arrival, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and raised his hand to greet him. "Qingyun, I'm here to ask you for a favor." At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, Ling Kai made a request. "Little brother Mo, as long as you help the Rin family get through this crisis, Qingqing will be at your disposal in the future." Just as Ling Kai finished speaking, Rin Qingqing, who was standing at the side, also made a request. The Rin family is in trouble? Upon hearing this thought naturally arose in Mo Qingyun's mind. Then Mo Qingyun asked Ling Kai, "Uncle Ling, what's the matter? Tell me about it first." "All right." Ling Kai nodded and said in a deep voice with a grave expression, "It's like this. The Rin family is a second-rate family in the divine prefecture of the holy region of the Dongshan divine realm. Previously, they offended the Jia family, which is also a second-rate family. Originally, the Rin family was not afraid of the Jia family, but now the Jia family has curried favor with the Rong family, a first-rate family, and this has put the Rin family in danger." Ling Kai briefly recounted the process of the matter to Mo Qingyun. "It seems that the crux of the matter lies with the Rong family." Chapter 819. The Rong family is a first-rate family in the divine prefecture of the divine prefecture. They have 3 advanced-level Abhijna powerhouses and are much stronger than the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Hearing Mo Qingyun ask about the Rong family's strength, Ling Kai revealed a solemn expression and said solemnly, in his opinion, with the current strength of the Qingyun Palace, it would be extremely difficult to deal with the Rong family. But now that the Ren family was in great danger, the only thing he could think of was to ask Mo Qingyun for help. 3 advanced-level Abhijna powerhouses. This is a bit troublesome. Knowing the approximate strength of the Rong family, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly, and a trace of embarrassment appeared on his face. During this period of time, although the overall strength of the Qingyun Palace had increased greatly, it was still difficult to deal with the Rong family that had 3 advanced-level Abhijna powerhouses. If they were not careful, the Qingyun Palace might fall into an irrecoverable situation, so Mo Qingyun had to be cautious. After all, the Rong family was a native force of the divine prefecture of the divine prefecture of the divine prefecture. The Qingyun Palace was at a disadvantage in terms of timing, location, and people. After a short silence, Mo Qingyun revealed a solemn expression and looked at Rin Qingqing. "Aunt Qingqing, does the Rong family have an 8th-level Abhijna powerhouse?" In Mo Qingyun's opinion, if the Rong family did not have an 8th-level Abhijna powerhouse, with his many means, although it would be troublesome to deal with them, he could still get rid of them. However, once the Rong family had an 8th-level Abhijna powerhouse, the nature of the situation would be completely different. Now, in the Qingyun Palace, there was no 7th-level Abhijna powerhouse. At that time, even if the cultivation of the Rong family's patriarch was suppressed, with his 7th-level Abhijna cultivation, he could still sweep through the entire Qingyun Palace. It seems that 1,000 years ago, the Rong family's patriarch's cultivation reached the 7th-level Abhijna powerhouse. Rin Qingqing's face showed an expression of reminiscence. She thought for a moment and frowned slightly. As for his current cultivation, I'm not very sure if he has reached the 8th-level Abhijna powerhouse. 1,000 years ago, his cultivation reached the 7th-level Abhijna powerhouse. If there are no accidents, he should be at the 8th-level Abhijna powerhouse now. Hearing Rin Qingqing's description, Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed even tighter, and he began to hesitate in his heart. To help or not help? At this moment, the Rong family's patriarch, Rong family's patriarch. Sex patriarch, Abhijna Palace patriarchs, Abhijna Palace. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun stood up and walked out of the courtyard. He instructed Ling Kai and little Aunt Qingqing, Uncle Ling, Aunt Qingqing regarding the matter of dealing with the Rong clan. The two of you should wait a few more days. When Qi Lian and the others finish their closed-door cultivation, I will give you an answer. Mo Qingyun's idea was very simple. Whether or not to help against the Rong family depended on whether Patriarch Qi Lian could break through to the 7th level Abhijna powerhouse. If Patriarch Qi Lian could break through to the 7th level Abhijna powerhouse, helping the Rin family deal with the Rong family wouldn't be too much of a problem. Yes. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ling Kai and Rin Qingqing nodded. They could understand Mo Qingyun's current feelings. The Rong family was too powerful. If Mo Qingyun dealt with the Rong family, it might affect the rise and fall of the Qingyun Palace. In this way, it was normal for Mo Qingyun to think for a few more days. Not long after, Mo Qingyun's trio arrived outside the Qingyun Palace and saw Feng Huayun and the others rushing back to the Qingyun Palace. Young Lord, the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion has been eradicated. Feng Huayun and the others came in front of Mo Qingyun with respectful expressions and reported the battle situation to Mo Qingyun. Well done. Mo Qingyun looked satisfied and nodded to Feng Huayun and the others, praising them. Young Lord, these are the spoils of war from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Please take a look. Feng Huayun took out a Qinquan pouch and handed it to Mo Qingyun with a respectful expression. Yes. Mo Qingyun nodded and raised his hand to receive the Qinquan bag, waving his hand to Feng Huayun and the others. You've all had a hard time on this trip to destroy Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Go back to the sect to rest and recover. Yes. Feng Huayun and the others nodded and entered the Qingyun Palace. They flew to the Heixian Palace on the Black Ice Peak. When Feng Huayun and the others went to the Heixian Palace, the Eye Demons followed and prepared to refine the corpses of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. After instructing Feng Huayun and the others to go and cultivate, Mo Qingyun comforted Ling Kai and Rin Qingqing and handed over the refined pills to them before returning to his residence. After a while, in the 5 directional towers, Mo Qingyun opened the Qinquan pouch that Feng Huayun gave him and counted the spoils of war from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Although the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion had collected a large variety of items, there was nothing that Mo Qingyun urgently needed. This result made Mo Qingyun feel very regretful. Seeing that there were no items that he needed, Mo Qingyun carefully put away some rare items and put away the other items, planning to give them to Ling Kai later. After counting all the spoils of war, Mo Qingyun stopped thinking about it and went back to cultivating. Next, time passed bit by bit as Mo Qingyun cultivated. Young Lord, this old servant's cultivation has broken through to the 7th level of the God power. A few days later, a voice full of surprise was transmitted into Mo Qingyun's mind. Qi Lian's cultivation has broken through to the 7th level of the God power. Hearing Qi Lian's soul transmission, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately shook and a surprised smile appeared on his face. In this way, Qingyun Palace had a high-level God power expert. In this case, with the current strength of Qingyun Palace, even if they went to the Holy Divine Land, they could be considered a quasi-first-rate force. Of course, the most important thing was that because Qi Lian's cultivation had broken through to the 7th level of the God power, Mo Qingyun did not have to worry about the Rong family's ancestor. Since Qi Lian's cultivation has broken through, I should give Uncle Ling and Aunt Qingqing an answer. After thinking about this, Mo Qingyun's figure moved and left the 5-direction small pagoda. After leaving the 5-direction small pagoda, Mo Qingyun went directly to Ling Kai's residence, intending to tell them his decision. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at Ling Kai's residence. Coincidentally, Ling Kai and Rin Qingqing were both here, but at this moment, their expressions were abnormally anxious and heavy. It seemed that the Rin family situation should be even worse. Qingyun, you're here. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk into the courtyard, Ling Kai and Rin Qingqing were overjoyed and excitedly welcomed Mo Qingyun. Qingyun, about the Rin family. Have you thought about it? Coming in front of Mo Qingyun, Ling Kai did not beat around the bush and directly asked Mo Qingyun. Qingyun, not long ago, a clan brother of mine sent me a message that the Rong family may be about to make a move on the Ren family. After hearing Ling Kai's words, Ren Qingqing explained the situation of the Ren family. She looked at Mo Qingyun and pleaded, Qingyun, I know it's too difficult for you to bring people to the Holy Divine Land to deal with the Rong family. Now, I only ask you to protect the Ren family after we move to the Jin province. Chapter 820. Really? Seeing Mo Qingyun agree to go to the sacred divine lands, Ling Kai and Ren Qingqing were shocked. They thought they had heard wrongly. Mo Qingyun had actually decided to go to the sacred divine lands. Of course, at this moment, other than being shocked, they were even more pleasantly surprised. In their opinion, with Mo Qingyun's help, the Ren family would definitely be able to get through this crisis. Uncle Ling, Aunt Qingqing, the two of you get ready. I'll go tell Qi Lian and the others now. After saying this to Ling Kai and Ren Qingqing, Mo Qingyun turned around and left the courtyard. He went to Heixian Hall to find Qi Lian and the others. Qingqing, with Qin Yun's help this time, the Ren family will definitely be fine. Looking at Mo Qingyun's back, Ling Kai comforted Ren Qingqing as a strong emotion rose in his heart. He had never thought that Mo Qingyun would grow to such a level in such a short period of time. Yes, Ren Qingqing nodded her head. She looked at Ling Kai with eyes filled with intense gratitude. In her opinion, the reason Mo Qingyun helped her was mainly because of Ling Kai. Of course, at this moment, Ren Qingqing was also extremely grateful to Mo Qingyun in her heart. No matter the reason, she should be grateful that Mo Qingyun was willing to help the Ren family. A moment later, Mo Qingyun arrived at Heixian Hall and found Qi Lian and the others who were cultivating in Heixian Hall. After this period of cultivation, apart from Qi Lian's cultivation, Heixian and the others' cultivation had also improved greatly. Now that Heixian's cultivation had reached the late stage of the 6th level of the Divine Ability Realm, it would not be long before he broke through to the 7th level of the Divine Ability Realm. As for Feng Mayun and the others, they had all reached the peak of early stage level 5 during this period of cultivation. They were only a step away from mid-stage level 5. In addition, with the help of a large number of pills and time-shifting formations, Qin Yun Palace now had many more divine tier experts. What surprised Mo Qingyun the most was none other than Xian Ao and Tang Zhan. The two of them had actually broken through to the transcendent realm, especially Tang Zhan's cultivation. A few months ago, his cultivation was only at the 5th level of Heaven Dipper. In just a few months, his cultivation had risen from the Heaven Dipper stage 5 to the transcendent realm. This cultivation speed was truly frightening. Apart from Tang Zhan and Xian Ao, the speed at which Savage Beast cultivation increased also surprised Mo Qingyun. During this period of cultivation, Savage Beast cultivation had already broken through to the 5th level of the Divine Ability Realm, catching up to Feng Mayun and the others. In addition, with Savage Beast's powerful demonic beast physique, he could even fight against the 6th level of the Divine Ability Realm. His strength was above Feng Mayun and the others. After sensing Hei Xian and the others' cultivation, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile and said to everyone, "A few days ago, Palace Lord Ling Kai asked for my help. I've already agreed to it. I've decided to bring everyone to the sacred divine continent immediately. Go and prepare now." Go to the sacred divine continent? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian's expression immediately changed and revealed a trace of excitement. Seeing Qi Lian's expression, Ling Hua was confused and asked, "Mr. Qi, why are you so excited when the young lord said that we're going to the sacred divine continent?" If I'm guessing correctly, the reason why Mr. Qi is so excited is that you want to go to the sacred divine continent to hunt for cultivation nourishment. Ling Hua smiled faintly. Now that Yang Taiyan, who has the strongest cultivation in the gene state, has become Mr. Qi's cultivation nourishment, Mr. Qi has indeed set his sights on the sacred divine continent. Zhuan Zinzi nodded and agreed with Ling Kuo's words. Haha, everyone knows me well. However, you've guessed wrong this time. Hearing everyone's words, Qi Lian laughed and shook his head. I'm going to the sacred divine continent this time to find someone. If I can find that person, the Qingyun Palace will be able to establish itself in the sacred divine continent. Oh, Mr. Qi is looking for someone? Who are you looking for, Mr. Qi? Could this person's identity be important in the sacred divine continent? Ling Kuo and the others were curious and turned to look at Qi Lian. When everyone looked at Qi Lian curiously, Feng Mayun's pupil shrank, and he asked with a respectful expression, My lord, is the person you're talking about the bloody butcher, Sha Yunjin? The bloody butcher, Sha Yunjin? Is he the demon who slaughtered millions of lives in a dynasty overnight? I didn't expect Mr. Qi to know Sha Yunjin. If we can pull him into the Qingyun Palace, the strength of the Qingyun Palace will definitely increase greatly. Back when Sha Yunjin dominated the Tianhan continent, he was already at the peak of level 7 of the divine power. Now, he's probably at level 8 of the divine power. For a moment, Ling Kuo and the others were shocked and showed a trace of anticipation. If Sha Yunjin joined, the Qingyun Palace will be the king of all the sects in the Jin state. That's right. Seeing that Feng Mayun had guessed who he was talking about, Qi Lian no longer denied it and nodded with a faint smile. At this moment, Feng Mayun saw that Ling Kuo and the others had misunderstood the relationship between Qi Lian and Sha Yunjin. He snorted coldly and said, Humph, my lord doesn't just know Sha Yunjin. Sha Yunjin is the same as me, my lord's blood slave. Hiss! Ling Kuo and the others gasped when they heard Feng Mayun's words. It was as if thunder had struck their hearts. They were extremely shocked. They were seriously unable to imagine that even such an awesome character like Sha Yunjin was actually a slave in Qi Lian's hands. Although they knew that Qi Lian's identity was extraordinary before he recultivated, they didn't expect him to be so powerful before he recultivated. While everyone was shocked by Qi Lian's strength, they were even more shocked by Mo Qingyun's methods. He could even subdue someone as powerful as Qi Lian. All right, everyone go and get ready. We will depart for the sanctuary divine continent immediately. Looking at the shocked crowd, Mo Qingyun waved his hand and instructed them. Then, he turned to He Xian and said, Senior He Xian, because the Qingyun Palace has just been established, the situation in the palace is still unstable. Therefore, we can't go all out. We will have to trouble you to guard the sect this time. Little guy, don't worry about going to the sanctuary divine continent. With me in charge of the Qingyun Palace, nothing will happen to the Qingyun Palace. In response to Mo Qingyun's request, He Xian put on a serious expression and said some words to reassure him. Okay. Mo Qingyun nodded gratefully when he heard He Xian's promise. After a while, Qi Lian and the others were ready and gathered in front of Mo Qingyun. At this moment, Ling Kai and Rin Qingqing also came in front of Mo Qingyun and waited for Mo Qingyun's instructions. In order to avoid attracting the attention of the Jia and Rong families when we go to the Rin family, I will send you to a place now. Savage Beast, let's go. Chapter 821. Yes, young lord. Savage Beast replied respectfully when he heard Mo Qingyun's instructions. He carried Mo Qingyun and flew out of Qingyun Palace. Mo Qingyun sat on Savage Beast's back and took out the map that Rin Qingqing had given him. He carefully looked at it. After passing through the entire Qingzhou, we will reach the Holy Divine Continent. With Savage Beast's flying speed, it will take about 10 days. Mo Qingyun studied the map in his hand and thought about how to get to the Holy Divine Continent as soon as possible. This place looks familiar. I think I've seen it somewhere before. When Mo Qingyun was looking at the map, an inconspicuous place on the map attracted his attention. Then, Mo Qingyun revealed a pondering expression. He quickly recalled where he had seen this place before. After recalling, Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up. He had seen this place before. Then, Mo Qingyun took out an old map. This was the map to find the second Heavenly Soul's demon arm. After taking out the map to find the second Heavenly Soul's demon arm, Mo Qingyun carefully compared the two maps. So this place is called Azure Mist Mountain. After some comparison, Mo Qingyun's guess was confirmed. He was pleasantly surprised. If that's the case, the place where the second Heavenly Soul's demon arm is hidden is in Azure Mist Mountain. I have to pass through the Holy Divine Continent to get to Azure Mist Mountain from the Jinzhou. If that's the case, it's on the way to the Rin family. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He had a plan in mind. Since that's the case, I'll head to Azure Mist Mountain from the Holy Divine Continent after settling the matters with the Rin family. After thinking about what to do next, Mo Qingyun instructed Savage Beast to hurry while he entered the 5-directional pagoda to cultivate. When Mo Qingyun entered the 5-directional small pagoda, Qi Lian and the rest were all immersed in cultivation and did not notice his appearance. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun did not disturb them and went straight to the second floor of the 5-direction small tower. Arriving at the second floor of the 5-directional miniature pagoda, Mo Qingyun began to cultivate and comprehend the other origin powers. In the following time, Mo Qingyun and the others were fully immersed in their cultivation. They had Savage Beast bring them to the Holy Divine Continent. After an unknown amount of time, the cultivating Mo Qingyun was awakened by Savage Beast's soul sound transmission. "Young Lord, I've run into some trouble. Please ask Mr. Qi to come out and help me." Savage Beast's voice carried a trace of worry and heaviness. It seemed that the trouble he had encountered wasn't small. "All right, we'll be right there." After receiving Savage Beast's request for help, Mo Qingyun comforted it and got up to walk to the first floor of the 5-directional tower. At this moment, Qi Lian and the rest were still cultivating. "Qi Lian, come with me for a while." Glancing at Feng Weiyun and the rest, Mo Qingyun did not disturb them and only sent a soul sound transmission to Qi Lian. "Yes." After receiving Mo Qingyun's soul sound transmission, Qi Lian left his cultivation and respectfully acknowledged Mo Qingyun. Then, Mo Qingyun brought Qi Lian out of the 5-directional small pagoda and went to help Savage Beast deal with the enemy. Bang! When Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian left the 5-directional small pagoda, a loud sound rang in their ears. This demon beast actually fought with Lin Yu for so long without being defeated. It's unbelievable. Yeah, Elder Lin is at the 7th level of the Divine Ability Realm. This demon beast can actually fight with him for so long. Its combat strength is too terrifying. From the looks of it, this demon beast's talent must be very shocking. Otherwise, wouldn't be able to fight someone of a higher level. If that's the case, when young Master Rong Xian subdues this demon beast as his mount, wouldn't that be even more impressive? Following the loud sound, words of surprise and flattery entered Mo Qingyun's ears. At this moment, while these people were talking, Mo Qingyun came to Savage Beast's side. "Savage Beast, are you okay?" Glancing at Savage Beast's injuries, Mo Qingyun showed a concerned expression and sniffed at Savage Beast. "I'm fine." Hearing this, Savage Beast shook its head and put on an indifferent expression. There's actually someone else." While Mo Qingyun and the other two were talking, Elder Lin Yu, who attacked Savage Beast, said something in surprise. Early stage of the 7th level of the Divine Ability Realm. His aura is still a little unstable. Looks like he just broke through to the 7th level of the Transcendent Realm. While Elder Lin Yu was sizing up Mo Qingyun and the other two, Mo Qingyun sensed his cultivation and a mocking expression appeared on his face. If Elder Lin Yu's cultivation had broken through to the 7th level of the Transcendent Realm for a long time, it would be quite troublesome to deal with him. However, since his cultivation had just broken through to the 7th level of the Transcendent Realm, there wouldn't be any difficulty. Heaven Star Border Stage 2. Peak Early Stage, Transcendent Realm Stage 7. Sensing Qi Lian and Mo Qingyun's cultivation, Elder Lin Yu frowned and showed a wary expression. He could clearly sense that the red-haired old man's cultivation was much stronger than his. He wasn't someone he could deal with easily. At the same time, he also knew that the demon beast he wanted to subdue might be the red-haired old man's and Qi Lian's mounts. Friend, I didn't know this demon beast was your mount. I'm really sorry about what happened just now. After weighing the pros and cons, Elder Lin Yu decided to apologize to Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian. He didn't want to fight with Qi Lian. After apologizing, Elder Lin Yu didn't want to stay any longer. He turned around and walked towards Rong Xian and the others. Young Master Rong Xian, that demon beast already has a master. Let's go back to the Rong estate. Elder Lin Yu, can't you deal with those two with your cultivation? Hearing the old man's words, Rong Xian had a puzzled expression on her face and asked rhetorically, Elder Lin Yu, if those two don't know what's good for them, just kill them. That's right. As long as those two are dead, will the demon beast be able to escape from your grasp? Upon hearing Lin Yu's words, Rong Xian's lackeys mocked Lin Yu. Slap, slap. Hearing Rong Xian's lackey's words, Lin Yu raised his hand and slapped them a few times. He said angrily, if you dare to spout nonsense again, be careful that I don't give face to young Master Rong Xian and kill you all. Young Master Rong Xian, Hearing Lin Yu's words, Rong Xian's followers looked aggrieved and looked at Lin Yu for help. All right, you guys don't have to say anymore. Listen to Elder Lin Yu. Before the lackeys could finish speaking, Rong Xian raised his hand and interrupted them. He nodded at Elder Lin Yu and said, Elder Lin Yu, please. Young Master Rong Xian, please. Elder Lin Yu bowed slightly and made an inviting gesture when he saw Rong Xian's actions. Wait. Chapter 822. Rong Xian and the others frowned when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. Displeasure was written all over their faces. In their opinion, they were already being merciful to Mo Qingyun by not causing trouble for Mo Qingyun. What they did not expect was that not only was Mo Qingyun not grateful, but he was also unwilling to forgive them. How could they tolerate this? Brat, do you know who you were talking to? One of Rong Xian's lackeys pointed at Mo Qingyun with an insufferably arrogant expression. Pucci. Before the lackey could finish his words, his finger was cut off by a powerful force. Fresh blood flowed from his finger. My hand. Seeing that his finger had been cut off, the follower had a panicked expression on his face as he uttered a series of panicked words. Trash. Lin Yu's eyes were filled with disgust when he saw the follower's behavior, and he spoke with disdain. The person who cut off Rong Xian's lackey's finger was naturally Qi Lian, who was by Mo Qingyun's side. Qi Lian cut off the lackey's finger and said coldly, Humph, you're just a lackey. How dare you point fingers at our young lord? Sir, although you are not weak, I advise you not to cause trouble for yourself. Seeing Qi Lian's actions, Rong Xian's face darkened as he spoke coldly. Although Qi Lian was strong, he was not afraid of Qi Lian and the others because of the Rong family's background. A few of you are not qualified to cause trouble for us. Mo Qingyun shook his head in disdain when he heard Rong Xian's words. He smiled nonchalantly and said, I will give you a choice now. You can either kill yourselves with dignity or be killed by us. As soon as Mo Qingyun said this, the faces of Rong Xian and the others immediately darkened. If that was the case, they were all going to die anyway. Brat, don't be too arrogant. Do you think you can look down on others just because you have a 7th-level divine power expert following you? Rong Xian glared at Mo Qingyun and said, Let me tell you, even a 7th-level transcendent realm cultivator would have to tuck his tail between his legs if he went to the divine lands not far from here. At this point, Rong Xian raised her head and said proudly, Our Rong clan is a powerful first-rate clan in the sacred divine continent. Moreover, our ancestors' cultivation has reached mid-stage God Realm 8th level. If you know what's good for you, you'd better keep your eyes open. He's from the Rong family. Mo Qingyun was surprised when he learned of Rong Xian's identity. Then, his gaze turned meaningful as he smiled and said, Are you trying to scare me? But I'm sorry, I'm going to take care of you. Qi Lian, do it. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he stopped wasting time with Rong Xian and immediately gave Qi Lian an order. Yes, young lord. Qi Lian nodded after receiving Mo Qingyun's instructions. He looked at Lin Yu with bloodthirsty eyes and said with a sinister smile, Kiki, the divine prefecture is indeed different. I didn't expect to be able to refine the bloodline of a 7th-level divine power expert as soon as I arrived here. Ancient 9 underworld demonic dragon treasure elephant, appear. As soon as Qi Lian finished speaking, he summoned his divine ability treasure elephant and attacked Lin Yu with all his might. The top 100 on the treasure elephant ranking, the ancient 9 underworld demonic dragon treasure elephant. Lin Yu's face was filled with fear and awe when he saw the huge figure above the red refined god art. He was weaker than Qi Lian to begin with. Now that Qi Lian summoned such a powerful treasure elephant, the gap between them became even bigger. Lin Yu's heart was filled with bitterness. Why were they so unlucky to have provoked such an existence? Savage beast, I'll leave the rest to you. After instructing Qi Lian to deal with Lin Yu, Mo Qingyun turned to Savage Beast and ordered it to deal with Rong Xian and the rest. Yes, young lord. After hearing Mo Qingyun's order, Savage Beast didn't dare to hesitate and immediately went to deal with Rong Xian and the rest. You all of you, hurry up and stop this beast for me. Seeing the Savage Beasts charging towards them, Rong Xian's expression immediately became flustered as she ordered the lackeys beside her. However, Rong Xian's followers were only in the Heaven Star border realm. How could they be a match for Savage Beast? Bang, bang, bang. Under the ferocious attack of the Savage Beast, Rong Xian and the other lackeys were sent flying like the autumn wind sweeping away fallen leaves. After sending Rong Xian's lackeys flying, the Savage Beast walked towards Rong Xian step by step, intending to kill her. Savage Beast, don't kill him for the time being. Keeping him alive is still useful. Just as the Savage Beast was about to kill Rong Xian, Mo Qingyun's expression suddenly changed, and he opened his mouth to instruct it. How could Rong Xian, who was in the Heaven Star Border Stage 6, withstand a slap from Savage Beast? Yes, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Savage Beast immediately nodded and reduced its attack on Rong Xian. Even though the Savage Beast had reduced its strength, Rong Xian's body was still on the verge of falling apart from the force of the blow. Young Master Rong Xian. Seeing Rong Xian's miserable state, Lin Yu, who was fighting with Qi Lian, immediately revealed a nervous expression. Rong Xian was a direct descendant of the family. Although he was a playboy, he was deeply loved by the family and the old ancestors. Otherwise, with Rong Xian's identity, how could he allow a Heaven Star Border Stage 7 expert to accompany him? Seeing that Rong Xian ignored his words, Lin Yu's face was filled with anger. He said to Mo Qingyun, Brat, you guys are too much. Young Master Rong Xian is a direct descendant of the Rong family. You guys injured him. Just wait for the Rong family's wrath. Stop talking nonsense. You should worry about yourself first. Hearing Lin Yu's words, Mo Qingyun curled his lips in disdain and replied to Lin Yu. Sealed door. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he stopped wasting time talking nonsense with Lin Yu and directly used the sealed door on him. Pucci. Facing the sudden attack of the sealed door, Lin Yu was directly hit. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his aura weakened. Lin Yu wasn't Qi Lian's opponent to begin with. Now that his cultivation was sealed, he naturally wasn't Qi Lian's opponent. After exchanging a few more blows, Lin Yu was finally no match for Qi Lian and was sent flying. Bang! Under Qi Lian's palm, Lin Yu's body was directly smashed into the ground. There was a loud explosion and a cloud of dust. After sending Lin Yu flying with a palm, Qi Lian didn't stop moving. In a few flashes, he arrived in front of Lin Yu and attacked him again. Qi Lian, don't kill this person first. He still has some uses. Seeing that Qi Lian was crazily attacking Lin Yu, Mo Qingyun revealed a solemn expression and instructed Qi Lian. Yes, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Qi Lian acted like savage beast and reduced the strength of his attacks. Chapter 823. After beating Lin Yu until he couldn't fight back, Qi Lian followed Mo Qingyun's instructions and refined him and Rong Xian into blood slaves. Greetings to the young lord. After becoming blood slaves, Rong Xian and Lin Yu respectfully half-knelt in front of Mo Qingyun and saluted. Get up. Looking at Rong Xian and Rong Xian half-kneeling on the ground, Mo Qingyun waved his hand indifferently and motioned for them to get up and talk. Thank you, young lord. Lin Yu and Rong Xian hurriedly thanked Mo Qingyun and stood up. Then, Lin Yu and Rong Xian respectfully stood beside Mo Qingyun and waited for orders. Mo Qingyun looked at Lin Yu and Rong Xian, who were in a sorry state, and frowned slightly. He took out a jade bottle and threw it to them, saying, there are a few Yuheng energy nourishing pills in here. Take them first and heal your wounds. Yuheng energy nourishing pills. Catching the jade bottle, Mo Qingyun tossed over. Lin Yu and the other man's expressions suddenly shook as they said excitedly, Young master, you're saying that this bottle contains a 5th grade king grade healing holy pill, the Alioth essence nourishing true pill? That's right. Mo Qingyun nodded. Lin Yu and Rong Xian were stunned when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. They were extremely excited. A 5th grade king grade Yuheng energy nourishing pills was a healing pill used to save lives. Mo Qingyun had just casually thrown it to them. At this moment, Lin Yu and Rong Xian thought they were dreaming and couldn't recover from their shock for a long time. Although they had an extraordinary status in the Rong clan, pills of this grade were not something they could use at any time. Young lord, our injuries aren't too serious. Isn't it a bit wasteful to use this Yuheng energy nourishing pills to heal our wounds? Looking at the pills in the jade bottles in their hands, Lin Yu and Lin Yun revealed a pained expression and spoke their thoughts. In their eyes, using such a good pill to heal such a small injury was really a waste of God's gift. Seeing Lin Yu's performance, Qi Lian and Savage Beast revealed looks of disdain and unconsciously curled their lips. At this moment, the meaning of Qi Lian's expression couldn't be any more obvious. They were undoubtedly mocking Lin Yu's group for being country bumpkins. Lin Yu and Lin Feng didn't care about Qi Lian and Lin Feng's mockery. It's only a few Yuheng essence fostering pills, and it can't be considered to be anything precious. Feel free to consume it. Mo Qingyun waved his hand indifferently, indicating for Lin Yu and Lin Li to take the pill without worry. He then said, in the future, as long as you work hard for me, I will give you more pills like this. When he spoke up to here, Mo Qingyun paused for a moment and said, of course, if the two of you do things to my satisfaction, then I'll give you even better medicinal pills. There are also pills that are just right. Lin Yu and Savage Beast almost fainted from happiness. It was the first time they had encountered such good treatment as slaves. All right, the two of you consume the Yuheng essence fostering pills and begin healing. Looking at Lin Yu and Savage Beast's dazed expressions, Mo Qingyun waved his hand impatiently and said, when the two of you have recovered, I still have something important to instruct you. Yes, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Lin Yu and Savage Beast didn't dare to hesitate and immediately consumed the Yuheng essence fostering pills to heal their injuries. Seeing Lin Yu and Savage Beast consume the pills to heal their injuries, Mo Qingyun's body flashed and entered the 5-directional pagoda to cultivate. Next, time passed bit by bit as Lin Yu and Savage Beast healed their injuries. After an unknown amount of time, a soul message appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind. Lin Yu and Savage Beast's injuries have recovered. Receiving Qi Lian's soul message, Mo Qingyun revealed a surprised expression and slowly stood up. At that moment, the moment Mo Qingyun stood up, the waves around him and below him began to slowly recede. This situation was like the ebbing tide on the sea. 6th level of water origin. The progress is faster than I expected. Sensing his water origin realm, Mo Qingyun revealed a joyful smile and thought to himself, "At this speed, my water origin realm should reach perfection in 10 days." Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He took a step forward and left the 5-directional pagoda. Immediately, Mo Qingyun's figure appeared in front of Lin Yu and Savage Beast's eyes. Seeing Mo Qingyun's sudden appearance, Lin Yu and Savage Beast's expressions were once again shocked and looked at Mo Qingyun with even more respect. In their opinion, even the Rong family's ancestor couldn't come and go without a trace. "Since your injuries have recovered, let's set off for the sanctuary divine lands." Mo Qingyun sat on the back of the Savage Beast and instructed Lin Yu and the other two. Then, he let the Savage Beast carry him forward. Yes, everyone nodded and hurriedly followed behind Mo Qingyun on the way to the sanctuary divine lands. "Tell me about your Rong family situation." With a cold expression, Mo Qingyun turned to look at Rong Xn beside him and asked him. "Yes." Rong Xn respectfully nodded and answered truthfully. "Young lord, our Rong family's current strength is ranked 37th on the Sanctuary Divine Lands list of forces. In addition to Elder Lin Yu, there is an ancestor at the mid-stage of level 8 of the Divine Power Realm, for Supreme Elders at level 7 of the Divine Power Realm, and more than a dozen Elders at level 6 of the Divine Power Realm." Next, Rong Xian described the Rong family situation to Mo Qingyun word for word. This Rong family actually has a level 8 of the Divine Power Realm and 5 level 7 of the Divine Power Realm. Chapter 824. On the way to the Sanctuary Divine Prefecture, Mo Qingyun asked Lin Yu and Rong Xian about the situation in the Sanctuary Divine Prefecture. Lin Yu and Rong Xian answered Mo Qingyun's questions without holding anything back. They answered Mo Qingyun without holding anything back. Just like that, as Mo Qingyun and the others talked as they walked, a huge city appeared in front of them. This was the place where the Rong family was based, Honor City. After arriving at Honor City, Mo Qingyun asked Rong Xian and Rong Xian to return to the Rong family and carry out what he had told them on the way. After giving instructions to Rong Xian and Rong Xian, Mo Qingyun set off for the Rin family. He did not stay in Honor City any longer. On the way to Honor City, Mo Qingyun moved Rin Qingqing from the 5-directional pagoda to the Savage Beast back. After all, he still needed Rin Qingqing to lead the way and recommend him to the Rin family. Otherwise, it would cause unnecessary trouble. The Rin family's residence was located in Sun Moon City, which was not far from Honor City. Compared to the prosperity of Honor City, Sun Moon City was much more shabby. The city walls were simple and crude, and the city was much smaller. Of course, this was relative to Honor City. If compared to the Great Yin Dynasty's flame capital, Sun Moon City was still very large. It was several times larger than Flame Capital. In Sun Moon City, there were no first-rate families. There were only 3 second-rate families that ruled over the city. They were the Rin family, the Jia family, and the Fan family. Among the 3 families, the Fan family was the strongest, followed by the Rin family, and the Jia family was ranked last. Of course, this ranking was only relative. It was precisely because of this that the 3 families did not have much of a difference in strength. As the saying went, a mountain could not accommodate 2 tigers. With 3 families ruling over the city, it was inevitable that there would be many conflicts. However, the Fan family was backed by the superpower Sword Discourse Villa. Therefore, the Rin family and the Jia family did not dare to provoke them. As a result, the only competing second-rate families left in Sun Moon City were the Rin family and the Jia family. Sun Moon City, City Gate. Due to the savage beast's shocking size and monstrous beast aura, it attracted the attention of many people as soon as it appeared. That demonic beast has such a terrifying aura. The aura it emits is almost comparable to a mid-level Abhijna expert. If this old man's guess is correct, this demonic beast cultivation should be at the 5th level of the transcendent art. A mount at the 5th level of the transcendent realm. The person who owns such a mount must have an extraordinary identity. I didn't expect such a person to come to Sun Moon City. If I'm not mistaken, he must have come for Lady Siye. Seeing Mo Qingyun's group approaching the city gate, the surrounding people were all in awe, guessing Mo Qingyun's identity and intentions. Mo Qingyun did not pay any attention to the crowd's reaction. He rode on his savage beast and headed straight for the Ren clan. As one of the 3 great clans in Sun Moon City, the Ren clan's location in Sun Moon City was very eye-catching and easy to find. Not long after, Mo Qingyun rode Savage Beast and arrived in front of the Ren family residence with Ren Qingqing. At this moment, there was a group of people outside the Ren family's residence. They seemed to be here to cause trouble. Jiaren, what is the meaning of this? Do you think that my Ren family is easy to bully? At this moment, at the entrance of the Ren family residence, a young man revealed an unhappy expression and questioned the person in front of him. Ren Junping, what you said is wrong. Hearing the words of this young man from the Ren family, this young man, called Jia Ren, revealed a mischievous smile and said, "Have we entered the Ren family residence? Have we obstructed the Ren family members from walking? Can we take a walk around here? Also, does Sun Moon City belong to your Ren family?" Hearing Jia Ren's series of questions, Ren Junping revealed an angry expression and was speechless. He didn't know how to refute Jia Ren. Jia Ren and the others only surrounded the Ren family residence and didn't obstruct the Ren family members from walking around. They also didn't occupy the Ren family's territory. As such, he indeed didn't have any reason to do anything to Jia Ren and the others. Roar! At this moment, while Ren Junping and the others were acting shamelessly, the savage beast roared at them and emitted a shocking aura. Thump, thump, thump. Under Mo Qingyun's aura, Jia Ren and the others were forced to retreat as they looked at the savage beast in horror. An expert at the 5th level of the divine ability realm was an existence comparable to the Grand Elder of their Jia family. It wasn't someone they could easily offend. Following which, Jia Ren and the others revealed a look of reverence and consciously made way for the savage beast. Although they were instructed by their family to stir up trouble and force the Ren family to make a move against them, an unknown expert had suddenly appeared. But now, a demonic beast expert of unknown origin had suddenly appeared. Before he figured out the origin of the savage beast, he couldn't be too presumptuous, lest he cause trouble for the Jia clan. After all, an expert at the 5th level of the divine ability realm might have some influence behind them. They had to be cautious. Therefore, in order to avoid unnecessary trouble, Jia Ren and the others felt that it was better to retreat first. Seeing that Jia Ren and the others had retreated, Ren Junping's gaze turned towards the savage beast. Soon, Ren Junping saw Ren Qingqing sitting beside Mo Qingyun on the savage beast's back. And Qingqing. Seeing Qingqing on the savage beast's back, Ren Junping immediately revealed a look of joy and hurriedly greeted Ren Qingqing. There's actually an expert at the 5th level of the divine ability realm in the Ren family. I have to report this to the elder immediately. Seeing the actions of Ren Qingqing and the others, Jia Ren's eyes flickered and he hurriedly left with the Jia family members. Junping, what's going on? Seeing Jia Ren and the others leave with their tails between their legs, Ren Qingqing revealed an unhappy expression and asked Ren Junping. And it's like this. After the Jia family obtained the support of the Rong family, they became more and more unscrupulous. They often find ways to provoke others and force our Ren family to make a move against them. Hearing Ren Qingqing mention the Jia family, Ren Junping spoke angrily before revealing a helpless expression. He continued, however, this is all part of the Jia family scheme. Once our Ren family dares to make a move, they will join hands with the Rong family to deal with us. Last time, the Jia family caused trouble in the Golden Weapon Pavilion. Elder Ren Guobang was furious and made a move. In the end, he was killed by the Rong family and the Jia family. Speaking up to here, Ren Junping clenched his fists tightly as his face was filled with grief and indignation. The Jia family's gone too far. Hearing this, Ren Qingqing's beautiful brows knitted tightly as her expression revealed anger. Aunt Qingqing, there's no hurry to deal with the Jia family. Let's talk about it inside the residence. Seeing Ren Qingqing's furious expression, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at her and spoke words of comfort. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ren Qingqing's expression turned for the better. She hurriedly made an inviting gesture to Mo Qingyun and said, "Qingyun, Mr. Qi, please come in." Subsequently, Ren Qingqing led Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian into the Ren family residence. Seeing Ren Qingqing's actions, Ren Junping curiously sized up Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian. He was very curious about Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's identities. Chapter 825. Then, Ren Qingqing led Mo Qingyun and Ling Tian to the Ren family's conference hall. On the way to the conference hall, Mo Qingyun moved Ling Kai from the 5-directional small pagoda to his side. The Ren family was the family of Ling Kai's wife. Since Ling Kai came with Mo Qingyun, he naturally couldn't stay in the 5-directional small pagoda. A moment later, under Ren Qingqing's lead, Mo Qingyun arrived at the Ren family's conference hall. At this moment, the Ren family patriarch and some elders were sitting in the conference hall with their brows furrowed as they discussed. As soon as they entered the conference hall, Mo Qingyun felt an oppressive atmosphere. It seemed that the Ren family was under great pressure from the Jia family and the Rong family. Father, elders, Ling Kai greets father-in-law and elders. Entering the conference hall, Ren Qingqing and Ling Kai showed a respectful expression and bowed to everyone in the conference hall. "Qingqing, Ling Kai, you're here." Seeing Ren Qingqing enter the conference hall, the Ren family patriarch, Ren Tianxiang, smiled faintly and greeted the two. However, when Ren Tianxiang saw Savage Beast and Qi Lian behind Ren Qingqing, his expression immediately changed, and he quickly asked, "Qingqing, who are these two?" At this moment, Ren Tianxiang was shocked to find that he couldn't sense the cultivation of the red-haired old man and the demonic beast expert. Didn't this mean that the red-haired old man and the demonic beast expert's cultivation were above his? They might be two experts at the 5th level of the God Power realm. Seeing that Ren Tianxiang neglected the most important person, Mo Qingyun, Ren Qingqing's expression immediately changed. She quickly pointed at Mo Qingyun and said, "Father, this is Mo Qingyun. He's niece Mo Ling's clan brother and the current master of the Qingyun Palace. Little brother Qingyun, you're the master of a force at such a young age. You're really young and promising." After hearing Ren Qingqing's introduction, Ren Tianxiang took a few more glances at Mo Qingyun before saying something polite. However, anyone with a discerning eye could see that Ren Tianxiang did not take Mo Qingyun seriously. He only treated him as a talented junior. In Ren Tianxiang's opinion, the reason Ren Qingqing introduced Mo Qingyun like this should be to give face to Mo Qingyun. In reality, the Qingyun Palace that Mo Qingyun was in should only be a small, unknown force. Seeing Ren Tianxiang's attitude, Qi Lian and Savage Beast revealed a trace of displeasure, and their bodies emitted a cold aura. Noticing the change in Qi Lian's expression, Mo Qingyun hurriedly gave them a look, indicating for them not to be impulsive. Seeing Mo Qingyun's look, Qi Lian and Savage Beast's expressions improved a little. However, there was still a trace of displeasure between their brows. Heaven Dipper, Soul Nourishing Elixir. Looking at the elixir in the jade bottle, Pang's expression immediately trembled and revealed a shocked expression. The Heaven Dipper Soul Nourishing Elixir was of the same grade as the Aliyah Vitality Nourishing Elixir. They were both 6th grade King Elixirs. However, because the Heaven Dipper Soul Nourishing Elixir was an elixir used to heal spiritual injuries, its value was above the Aliyah Vitality Nourishing Elixir. Thank you, young lord, for bestowing the elixir upon me. Looking at the elixir that Mo Qingyun had bestowed upon him, Pang revealed an excited expression and hurriedly expressed his gratitude to Mo Qingyun. Without hesitation, Pang got up and left the Sun Moon restaurant to monitor the Jia family's movements. After settling Pang's matter, Mo Qingyun looked at Lin Yu and Xian and said, Lin Yu, Xian, the two of you return to the Rong family first and continue to bring the other elders of the Rong family to see me. Yes, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Lin Yu and Xian did not hesitate and immediately took action. Let's return to the Run family. Seeing that everything was settled, Mo Qingyun rode on Savage Beast and returned to the Rin family. Chapter 828. A moment later, Mo Qingyun rode Savage Beast back to the Rin residence and walked towards his own courtyard. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that Ren Junping was pacing back and forth outside his courtyard. Brother Qingyun, you're back. I was looking for you everywhere. Seeing Mo Qingyun return, Ren Junping had an excited expression and quickly walked towards Mo Qingyun. Looking for me? Mo Qingyun was surprised to see Ren Junping walking towards him. He asked curiously, Why are you looking for me? Brother Qingyun, you probably don't know yet, but today is the Jasper Lake Immortal Pavilion's Sieyes dressing up ceremony. When he heard Mo Qingyun's question, Ren Junping spoke excitedly and impatiently said, Rumor has it that Miss Sieyes' appearance is like that of a celestial fairy. She's charming and moving with every movement she makes, as if she's a celestial fairy from the 9 heavens. Dressing up ceremony? Mo Qingyun was surprised to hear this. He didn't know why Ren Junping had come. After all this time, Ren Junping had come to find him to accompany him to the Red House to see a girl. It seemed that Ren Junping was also of the highest quality. On the Tianhun continent, there were some geisha who only sold their skills and not their bodies. The first time they received a guest was called dressing up. There was a rule in the Jasper Lake Immortal Pavilion. Before the disciples of the pavilion appeared in public, they had to complete a dressing up in front of a man they liked. The ancients said, a woman dresses up for the man she likes. Think about it. How wonderful would it be for a woman who liked you to dress up in front of you? I've never seen a dressing up before, but I can join the fun. After a short moment of silence, Mo Qingyun revealed a curious expression and smiled at Ren Junping. Since that's the case, please lead the way, Brother Junping. After that, Mo Qingyun and Ren Junping headed to the Jade Lake Immortal Pavilion in Sun Moon City. A moment later, a beautiful pavilion built in the middle of a field of flowers appeared in front of Mo Qingyun. I didn't expect the Jade Lake Immortal Pavilion to develop so well after several hundred years. Looking at the Jade Lake Immortal Pavilion in front of him, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but recall some memories. Before he was reborn, he had heard that the Jade Lake Immortal Pavilion was a force formed by women. This faction was very strange. They were different from other factions that focused on martial arts. Instead, they focused on music, chess, calligraphy, and painting. In addition, there were 2 types of disciples in the Jade Lake Immortal Pavilion. One was the disciples who entered the secular world, and the other was the disciples who live in seclusion. Secluded disciples basically cultivated in seclusion, and in the future, they would become the kind of people who would protect the sect. Chapter 829. The Moon Eclipse Wolf Clan is the same as the Nine-Tailed Fox Clan. They are both ancient clans of the Wild Continent. However, the Moon Eclipse Wolf Clan suddenly disappeared 100,000 years ago. Hearing Mo Qingyun ask about the moon eclipse wolf clan, Savage Beast gave a simple explanation. His expression turned serious as he said, "Young lord, the people of the moon eclipse wolf clan are cunning, vicious, and merciless. They are good at treacherous deeds. If you meet them in the future, you must not believe their words." Yes. After hearing Savage Beast's explanation, Mo Qingyun had a general understanding of the moon eclipse wolf clan. At the same time, Mo Qingyun's curiosity towards Xie and Lang Ping increased by quite a bit. They were all ancient clans of the Wild Continent. For them to suddenly come to the Heavenly Soul Continent was simply too abnormal. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and Savage Beast were conversing, a middle-aged woman who looked like a brothel keeper came to Xie's side. She revealed a charming smile and said to the crowd, "Esteemed guests, today is the day of Xie's grooming. Take a guess which esteemed guest will be lucky enough to see it." As soon as the brothel keeper finished speaking, the crowd in the Jade Lake Immortal Pavilion revealed an impatient expression. "Aunt Silverflower, don't waste any more time. Just give us a competitive price." "That's right. We came to the Jade Lake Immortal Pavilion to see Miss Xie's grooming. Miss Xie, Yang Bai, will definitely have the right to see your grooming this time." "Who is Yang Bai? Have you heard of him?" "Never heard of him." All of a sudden, words of urging could be heard endlessly. Seeing that everyone was in high spirits, Aunt Silverflower didn't delay any longer. She smiled faintly and said, "Since everyone is impatient, I won't beat around the bush. The starting price for the right to see Xie's grooming is 10 billion elemental spirit stones. Each increment must be no less than 1 billion elemental spirit stones. 10 billion elemental spirit stones." Hearing Aunt Yin Hua's words, everyone in the Jade Lake Immortal Pavilion's main hall instantly revealed shocked expressions. Obviously, the price that Aunt Silverflower quoted had greatly shocked them. A bunch of paupers. Looking at the expressions of those around him, a blue-clothed youth had a disdainful look on his face. He taunted, "Since no one wants to speak, then I, Lan Ling Hong, will throw a brick to attract jade. 20 billion spirit essence stones." So it's young Master Ling Hong from Jinling City's Lan family. It's Xie's great fortune to be favored by young Master Ling Hong. Seeing this blue-clothed young master's bid, Aunt Silverflower immediately revealed a pleasantly surprised expression and conveniently flattered Lan Ling Hong. When he was 30 years old, his cultivation broke through to the heavenly Dipper realm. He is a peerless genius of the Eastern Continent Divine Realm. From the looks of it, Miss Xie's dressing up competition this time will become more and more interesting. As everyone saw Huangfu Qingsong appear, they immediately revealed looks of awe as they whispered to each other. As everyone looked at him with awe, Huangfu Qingsong faintly smiled and said, "Haha, everyone, there is no need to look at me. If you have the money, then feel free to compete." "Thank you for your magnanimity, Sir Huangfu." Hearing Huangfu Qingsong's words, everyone immediately revealed grateful expressions. Admiration towards Huangfu Qingsong rose in their hearts. They were all surprised that Huangfu Qingsong didn't use his status to suppress others and give up on competing with him. "I offer 81 billion spirit essence stones. I offer 90 billion spirit essence stones. I have 93 billion spirit essence stones here. If there is someone who offers more than me, then I will withdraw. You only have 93 billion spirit essence stones, and you dare to open your mouth? Go home and dig in the mud. I offer 100 billion spirit essence stones." For a time, all sorts of bidding sounds rose and fell. At this moment, as everyone was madly bidding, Lang Ping stood beside Xie, a cold and gloomy smile on his face. He said to Xie, "Among these people, Lan Ling Hong, Huang Wenbao, Li Qiushan, Huangfu Qingsong, and the others are all talents that can help me achieve great things. I hope you can capture them for me." Hearing Lang Ping's words, Xie faintly sighed and said, "Lang Ping, this is no longer the wild continent. How about we start new? If I can't achieve great things, then I'd rather die. Lang Ping indifferently responded to Sie's words. He said, Sie, the only one who can help me right now is you. I hope you won't disappoint me. I'll fight for it. That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.